Ahoy, crypto pirates and crypto junkies alike. Here I am standing in the shoes of greatness, waiting for the captain himself to arrive. He had to dump on your guys' heads so he can go buy himself a supercar. How you like them apples? Anyway, in the meantime, just wanted to let you guys know this is the FN Hangout. If someone wouldn't mind tweeting this out, I'm going to follow up here in just a little bit with a link for the YouTube channel. But I am extremely excited about the future, and I've been very rushed to get this all put together tonight. So I had a lot going on. There's huge things from the Hex Expo that we're going to be throwing with huge A-list names that Gary kind of dropped a couple names today. We're going to be doing that at the end of April. If you guys have seen donations being collected right now, that is not from us. That is not the big event that we are throwing. I'm sure that'll be a nice, fun Hexican hangout. We also have some big news coming along the lines that it looks like, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell everyone this. Should I blow the top off of this? Some of you guys have already heard about this. Not sure if I should really do it or not. You know what? We'll talk about that later, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. So Team Money out in Vegas is helping the Crypto Spotterbook guys, Hex Lion and Hex Abit, put together some wrapped outies, and they're going to be doing a 6-month, 50-state car tour with trying to promote Pulse and Hex. And there's some people that have done this with Bitcoin that have reached out and said, hey, we've done this before. Here's some good ideas. They want to be active with it going forward. And, we haven't officially set this down, but we're going to go ahead and start trying to collect here on Discourse Syndicate funds to keep those guys driving across the United States. So if you guys would like to help with that fund, please reach out to me on Telegram. I want to make sure that these guys have everything necessary. I don't want them looking like a bunch of poor college kids without enough money to be able to make it across the United States trying to bum their way in a Hex and Pulse mobile. They don't necessarily need to live like ballers, but they need to look like they're not hurting for money. So if you guys want to help with those, I believe what our plan is, we haven't run this by them. So I'm throwing this out there now, and they're going to hate me for doing so without talking to them about it first. But the last stop be the convention, and we'll park those cars with the wraps in the Hex Expo. So it looks like it's probably going to be Mandalay Bay. I am probably putting the cart before the horse because we haven't officially locked down that venue, but they have an arena where we can put 6,000 people. We're talking about doing this big, guys. So a lot of you guys who were listening to Joker last night, he wasn't kidding when he said we're going big with this. So I probably said more than I should, but we'll be touching more on this. I just want to get a jump on getting funds raised to help Hex Lion and Bittner to travel the United States in their Pulse and Hex wrapped vehicles. So I think it's kind of a big deal. So while I'm here, let's look at this. Serena Alonzi, looks like you were number one in the chat. So appreciate you, Serena. Hiroshi Champelli, I don't think I've ever seen your name, so it's great to have new people here. Blanche, Pay Me Hex, Tex Hex, El Mariachi, Mudhog, Identity Block, BC, Miss Exquisite, Bree, Rax Ropes, Pulsation Nation, ISO Serenity. Guys, I got some really cool stuff coming from ISO Serenity. He has given me permission to post his first video. He is going to give you the journey from his eyes, not being an OG day one Hexican. And I really think he's going to bring a lot of value to and a lot of encouragement to those of you guys who didn't find it as early as some of the rest of us did. So Motley Investor, yes, this is the real stream. That is my fault. I still had Restream set up with a link for YouTube as well from Jenkins stream last night. And I forgot to take that one down when I started. So I went and deleted that stream. So thanks, Motley. Appreciate that. Melv Tony, Graphene, Alex Shot at Wally Soros, Children of the Grave, Piston Broke, Zizzo. My goodness, I can't even keep up with all you guys. Tarnweed, Crypto King, Aussie Hex, Gomer Pile. It is Ash, iBaseline, Celebrate Truth. You like that, man? God is awesome sauce. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Mardell's, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's a Christian store. Everything from books to clothing to even toys that are all Christian based. So just throwing that out there. It's good to see all of you guys. JFK 666. After I show the God is awesome, then I throw 666 out there. What do you know? So hey, it is good to have you guys. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link to the chat in here for any of you guys to join. I haven't had any of the cutthroats join me yet. They're more than welcome to do so when they choose to. I just wanted to make sure that we let everyone else know that we are here for you guys, that we are doing so much behind the scenes, guys. I wish I could let you guys know everything that we're doing. It's at great personal cost and expense to us. But I think it'll pan out in the long run. So many of you guys have reached out to me with your skill sets and how you guys want to help out the community. And the problem is there's too many skilled people for me to organize right now. All of you guys that have reached out to me have amazing skills, and they would be so great in growing this community. And I just almost don't have the infrastructure set up yet to be able to get you guys all on the same page working to get Hex and Pulse in front of everybody. Yes. Validator node kinetics. Oh, yes, we are working on possibly more than one, actually, because we've got the facilities to house multiple nodes. So that's something we'll talk about. And maybe even Richard Hart will validate, or the, I should say, the African priest that owns much of the $14 billion that was sacrificed and their big bag of pulse that they're getting. Maybe they might even be interested in supporting a community node. So there's not going to be any income made by the node validators for quite some time. And part of that's going to just be because of the adoption on the chain. And the other part is we want to make it possible for you guys to be able to benefit from a community node. So I'm glad Children of the Grave didn't reach out either, because he's only moderately skilled. You would have sunk in the sea of skilled people, my friend. So say that 5 times fast. Thank you, Children of the Grave, for the $5, brother. And the king is back. The Mr. Pirate himself.
The captain, not the king.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So you can hear me fine.
That really is. Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit echoey, almost like you're using the microphone on your computer and not your nice mic.
Well, therein lies the problem. Every time this Chrome browser is not liking my new headset. So let me see if I can fix the mic here.
Not want to try Firefox, man.
That's what I'm on.
Oh, gotcha.
How about that? Is that any better?
Much better, smoother. Smooth like butter. I'm still eating. I didn't even have time before I had made this stream to.
I literally just ran in, grabbed a cup of coffee, and just got in from out of town.
Now your volume just went down.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Down.
Your coffee said, "And you shall not be heard."
Uh-oh.
In the meantime, I'm going to bring these guys up.
How's that? Oh, that's going to clip.
No, that was good. What's up, guys?
Hey, Johnny.
Johnny, Timmy B. Oh, look, it's OG Fest.
Hey,
how's it going,
OG
fellas?
Fest. Look at this.
Good to see y'all.
We got like 3 of the first 3 streamers, of 3 of 5 of the first streamers in Hex here on screen right now.
Well, you were looking lonely, Kinetics, so yeah, figured.
Well, I appreciate that. I had plenty to run on with. The problem is I'll start giving away secrets of stuff we're working on, so it's probably better you guys get in here and shut me up. So.
He's our Tom Holland of Discourse Syndicate.
Tom Holland? What am I Spider-Man now or what?
No, Tom Holland always gives away all the secrets of the Spider-Man, so they don't even give him the script.
That's awesome.
They don't let him in on any of the secrets, and they'll be having a conversation. He'll be like, "Oh, we haven't even got the script yet," and everybody's laughing. It's like, "Well, you haven't got a script yet."
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm Tom Holland. You guys just keep things in the dark if you don't want everyone else knowing about it. I'm just so excited about what we're working on. So we got some big things in the works. This Hex Expo is really coming together, and we're going to be in front of a lot of eyes that have never really taken a deep look into crypto before, who are trying to figure out whether they should be getting into Bitcoin, and then they're going to be presented with something that's better. So I'm excited about this.
I'm gonna have to finish up the Giant Dragon now that A-Bit and Patrick.
That's not the same one, Timmy B. That is not the one that we were throwing.
Oh, really?
Nope. Anyone collecting money up front, that has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Nope. If there's any confusion, we're not collecting any money.
Yep.
So the one that Maddie's hosting is a different event?
Sounds like a fun little meetup. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. But that's not what we're doing.
No.
Really?
Not
no
meetup.
No, we didn't want to do a meetup. We wanted to go an actual convention route.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what Maddie was doing.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not sure what Maddie's doing anymore.
Yeah,
so.
I have no idea, because we went our separate ways, and we decided we wanted to we had different visions for things, and so we just wanted to continue forward with the way we thought was appropriate. So
and
all the best to him, because he is doing he is doing the Lord's work out there and putting more hex in front of more eyes, and that's important. That's all we care about.
Sounds like I've been out of the loop in a certain.
I've been out of the
sense.
loop too. I'm a little confused by that too, because I know the 369 tickets, like Lights Out's talking about, they were raising money. I don't know what that's for then.
Yeah,
not our convention. Not our
convention.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, let me know when your convention goes, and I'll just go to both of them.
Trust me, we'll let you know, buddy. You will be aware. You will be aware. We've got such huge things lined up right now, so I just wish I could give you more concrete details, but I think at this point in time,
he's just trying to tease the shit out of everybody. Would you stop it already? You're sounding like a shill. Look, we have A-list speakers coming. We're going to put together a financial convention, a crypto convention, and it's going to be hex centric and pulse centric.
Interesting.
And that's what it's going to be. So we're going to really try and bring value to the hex community and bring hex to the financial community at the same time. Get as many eyes on hex as possible and bring some value to the Hexicans based on, all of the talent that is out there in the speaker world as far as finances go. And then hopefully be able to bring some other things, breakout sessions that are going to help Hexicans, talk about what it is they can do in the financial world to escape the dangers that are out there today. So that's what it's going to be.
Well, I guess the more the merrier, because Richie Rich Crypto is putting together a meetup in Denver for the 28th, which is the last Saturday of August, because I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be on the road and I'm going to be stopping by there. So, Kinetics, you and I can talk later because I'm going to be passing your way too.
At the
strippers,
end of August.
definitely strippers.
No,
definitely.
Actually,
we'll definitely
Kinetics,
have those at ours. So I can't speak to the other one.
We are an equal employment, equal opportunity employer.
Yes.
And strippers will be allowed. We will not be banning strippers or painted women or any of that.
They need to feed their children too.
We might be doing the body paint thing. We'll have to.
There you go.
Because I'll have to hire the artists.
There you go.
But I do know top competitive international body painters that are friends of mine, like on my speed dial. So, there's that.
Bring them.
There you go.
Well, this week has been very nice and relaxing because I have been so glad that the Pulse sacrifice phase is over with and there's no more wondering what's going to happen. It's happened. And, it's been a real nice week of barely touching social media and just waiting for Friday to come so I can come hang out with you guys. And it's been good. It's been very, very good.
It has been. So we took this week off, the captain and I, from most of social media, and man, has it been refreshing. We missed you guys. We'll be back at it hard at work here soon, but man, we really needed it. It's been a hectic 2 to 3 months now at this point in time.
I apparently was picking fights, and then I got Freddie all fired up at the some other influencers.
Good.
I don't know if you guys caught that on Twitter.
It's good.
Today.
That's good for us to talk about.
Thanks for the $4.99, Toby. Where I'm from, they're called strippers. We don't have exotic anywhere in the alleys that I've been in, so just to let you know, they call them strippers. Yes.
Oh man.
All right. So anyway, like I said, this has just been a very relaxing week. I don't know about you guys, but I've just been kind of like, breathe. No more launching of anything. It's like kind of all in the past. Now we're just waiting for Pulse to come to fruition. And I
can worry about stacking that hex because you can't buy Pulse yet. So all you can do is stack your hex so you get your copy of your Pulse hex.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's now's the time to be stacking that hex. If you want something on the Pulse chain, you want something on the network that's ready to go, that we know is going to have some value in a very short order after the launch of Pulse, Hex is the way to go, man. If you want it on 2 chains, now's the time to be stacking it.
And throw it out there. Coffee did just put together a good video that kind of gives you a little behind the scenes on setting limit orders on some of the new modules that are out there. And it looks pretty sweet. It's nice to be able to look at an order book and see where resistance is. And it's just a really interesting video. It'll give you a lot of insight, and you guys should check it out.
There we go.
Not costing you nothing. Free information.
Well, we like that. I like free information. Most people like it expensive. It's funny. Most people won't take good advice unless they've had to pay something for it.
Yeah. I'm just a little disappointed that he's starting to give away secrets. I'm like, damn it, Coffee. Everyone's going to know now. Damn it. But like $11 million buy right now, or not $11 million buy, 11 million hex buy right now. If there is no sell down, looking at the order books is like a doubling event. So that's pretty interesting. And I've also been checking on you guys, and I see you're not setting buy orders. You're being reactive, not proactive. Catch those dips.
Not me. I'm not the one out shopping for supercars.
I was looking at that thing that Big K was driving today. I was like,
that was pretty wild.
That looks pretty nice. And then I'm Googling it. I'm going, yeah, I can buy one. But if I did, you'd never know it because I know how to set a limit order.
Yeah, limit orders are a nice thing. Well, if you're selling that much, though, I mean, you don't get much slippage from selling just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're selling a crap ton.
And you don't devalue the rest of what you're holding either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I prefer market buys instead of market sells or market bids. You know, market bid buys.
Market buys,
market buys.
limit
That
sells.
bumps the price up.
Yep.
But if you're one of those people that is kicking yourself because you can't seem to catch a dip, well, you just say, hey, this is my price I'm willing to pay, and hope it fills. If it doesn't fill, move it up a little later.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm really not selling a lot of Hex right now, so it's not a big deal for me, but that is great. That is a great idea. I right now would love to be in accumulation phase for this fork.
That's definitely the place you want to be right now, is an accumulation phase. These little dips are nice. We're seeing little dips every once in a while, so I think that's the time to accumulate. What are we at? What are we at this afternoon? Did we get back up past 13 cents, or are we still?
We are 13.1 right now.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Yep.
So yeah.
I got all my screens going.
I like this dip. And you know what's so funny is our community is the only one that's like, yes, it's on sale. Yes. Wow. Time to buy it while it's dipping.
Yeah. Is that what you were talking about earlier today? That sell that's in there, Johnny? Seen a sell to go drop it down to like under 9 cents today.
Yeah.
There was a $2 million sell today.
Nice. Oh boy, that looks good.
Hey, Wally.
There's some emergency.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Hello there, Wally Source.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Very
Good.
well.
Good, man. How about yourself?
Hey, feeling great, man. When that big purchase came the last day of the sacrifice, I knew what he was doing. And the only thing I thought was like, here we go again with the new people that don't understand what he's doing, you know. So, have you guys ever spoken about the validators?
A little bit.
I
talking
specifically
about
what?
I think that Pulse is going to control the validators. The one the OA got. So I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking about that.
That's a guarantee.
Yeah, for sure. At least, how many is it total?
Hey, your mic is clipping like crazy, Wally.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Is it any better?
No, it's just clipping real hard.
Hold on.
Piston broke. It's tacos rancheros with three huevos over easy on top.
Is this
That's
better?
what I'm having for dinner.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. Just it's.
Is this mic better?
Nah, it's kind of loud. It's just loud. You guys don't hear it?
I don't hear the difference.
No.
Okay.
No clipping for me either.
I'll fix it. I'll come back on. Take me out.
Wally, you're not clipping on my end.
It might be his headset.
Nobody else
fine
is.
to me.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny did roll.
What happened? Johnny, no, his internet every once in a while drops out.
Is this better? Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah, so I was just looking at the validators. I don't know if you guys are. I used to be in another coin, right? And they kind of did the same thing, but the way he did it was wrong. That person. But I'm just happy about that, man, because that's gonna protect the chain drastically, and not let bozos come in and just throw in contracts to do what they want with the PulseChain.
Well, I know he's at first, whatever entity, the African priest that sacrificed $14 billion and is going to end up with a lot of pulse. And I'm certain a lot of that's going to be delegated to very strong, secure node validators so that we don't have any downtime initially. Now, I can see some of that pulse being moved over to other node validators as they prove themselves over time to be consistent and that they're not going to have any downtime. And I think that it'll become more and more decentralized as we go forward.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. So I really don't know if you guys spoke about that in length, but I just thought I brought that up, because that right there is major, man. At least in my opinion. And
well, the big value, the whale value in Hex and in Pulse has always been there to benefit the two products, has always been there to protect those who are invested in those products. So it's always been a feature of the products, not something to look at as a danger or as a threat or as a weakness. It's actually its strength and its protection and security, and it protects all of us. And just like we've been able to stream here without ever having to, reverse a stream or cancel a stream or delete a stream, it stands there behind us and proves once again that the product is solid, the product is secure, the product has backing behind it, and that financial energy is there for protection. And the sooner people realize that, the better, the more secure people are going to feel about Hex and Pulse, because that's why those positions have been taken. That's why those positions are there, is to protect the products.
Well, they never had a founder before that doesn't need to sell.
100%. That's exactly right. So I was just gonna say that, and man, you are so on the ball, Johnny Chaos. These other guys have to sell. They need their profits. They got to pay the light bills. We got a guy that wants legacy. He wants us to work out long term. He wants bragging rights. He wants respect. And he's coming for it, and he's gonna get it from you whether you like it or not. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna look like the jackass on the sidelines that got left behind anyway. So
I mean, you can't buy being able to have a lifetime of telling people that they're wrong and you were right. What amount of money is worth giving up the ability to literally tell these people for the rest of their entire existence that they were wrong about him?
Yeah, I try to tell people it's. With Richard, I was like, because some people are like, oh, look at how he talks. I'm like, bro, when somebody's been successful as he has, what I'm saying? It's only we benefit, right, long term. And bragging rights, there's nothing worse than somebody who wants bragging rights and has the pockets to do it. 'Cause they you know, like
Yeah.
now
He's
when
gonna
was
make
that?
it happen, and then he's gonna rub it in your face later.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Remember that one part where he says, "You guys lost."
Yeah.
You lost. It's over. And I was like,
That was the funny thing is
"Sheesh,
they
man."
still don't even see. They're like, "Oh, the game's still being played." No, it was
We-
won.
We called the game a long time ago on this
Yeah.
show. We
Yeah.
called the influencers over with a long time ago. We called Bitcoin over a long time ago. I've caught in hell from everybody, even some of you community members that love your Bitcoin so much, fucking give me shit about it. Well, fucking
Bridgeology.
I had lunch with Briss today, man. Dude, Briss, I don't care. We can give him shit about his Bitcoin all day long, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that boy is set, man. He's set in every crypto you can imagine. That man is. Hey, girls, if you're looking for a rich one, Brissology's easy, and he's good to go. So.
And then I wanted to talk Johnny
There's
with
girls watching the show.
the way you were responding to the gentleman of crypto or whatever. Man. They're just looking for engagement, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen their numbers? They haven't
Yeah,
even.
I actually stopped. Yeah, I stopped talking.
Not even.
They wanted me.
Not even 50% close of what they had when they had Richard on there. It's like 800 views, 700, then 1,000. Richard was like 14,000.
Yeah, so
Beautiful, bro.
With that, actually, I wasn't being a dick. I was literally trying. to
not you.
You want to be?
No, you weren't. But they were.
Yeah, you want to be.
They were trying to stir you up.
Market cap.
Like, come on, and tell us the facts. Get on our show, and I'm like, we don't need you no more, bro. You need us.
No, that's exactly where I stood with it. Because I could go on their show. I could. Part of me wants to say, okay, should I let myself get baited into this? Because it's not going to go well. They already know that that they literally know that the information was wrong and inaccurate, yet they're still sharing it with their viewers, and that just kind of set me off. It set me off, and I did my little Twitch video because it set me off. Because what happened was I subscribed to their channel because Richard was on there, and I'm like, oh, these guys are okay. Let me go ahead and give them a sub. And then it popped up today, and they were literally laughing about sharing inaccurate information.
Yeah.
So that's what set me off.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we know it's wrong, but we're going to do it anyway, so you can kiss our ass. And I'm like, wow. And that just kind of set me off. So that's where that started.
If anyone can find me a clip of that, I'd love to use it in the future.
It's there, and I did a recap of it on my Twitch. If you follow my Twitch, the recap is there where I played the clip. So.
That's a trigger tweet. They want you to engage them. They want you to talk to them. They want.
Well, they got me. They got me. I got sucked into it.
It's not a hard thing to bait Johnny, that's for sure.
But I'm not going on the show. I'm not taking it any farther. I stopped with the conversation. Freddie's still in there going. Freddie was just going off on him today, and I'm like, damn, Freddie.
Yo, Richard is
into it. It was on. It was on. He's probably still.
Richard is a rating machine, man. I've been tracking like all the videos that he's been in, insane views, and everybody else is like, I don't know, 500,000 followers and 60,000 views. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, no engagement.
Well, that's going to happen. If right now we're getting kind of the bounce of the market, but when the market starts really taking a tank, like I said, the exchanges are going to be wanting to be where the money is. The influencers are going to want to be where the attention is. So it's really a bear market is going to be a blessing for the Hex community.
Oh yeah,
because
it's going to be the only place in crypto to find yield.
Where are you going to go?
It's funny you bring that up, Johnny, because when I see Bitcoin in green, I'm like, damn it, go red. So we can pump harder.
Yeah.
Like that's my mentality. I'm like, you're green. We're gonna be stale now for the next few days. As soon as it goes red, we're like green again. And I'm like, yes.
I swear it's a result of Richard's last stream where I think the Maxis decided to dig into their pockets and buy some more just so that they could try to hold it up for a little bit longer.
I wonder how much Michael Saylor borrowed on leverage to pad his pockets with more Bitcoin so he can watch it go to 10K. So that's the thing that cracks me up. So I was watching a Bloomberg interview with Michael Saylor and MicroStrategies, and it's like, oh, we're leveraged long on Bitcoin. We've got 1.5% loans on Bitcoin. And I'm like, if you're borrowing billions of dollars to buy Bitcoin, to watch it go down to 1/3 of what it's valued at right now, I don't know how long your investors really want to invest with you, regardless of how low interest rate your rates are with the money you're borrowing.
Look, I'm from El Salvador, right? And they did that shit over there, and I'm like, I don't understand how that benefits my country, at all. I mean, it benefits the president. Like, he can buy all that equipment and set it up next to that volcano and whatever.
Get
but
some mining going on.
The wages people are on over there doesn't add up to what Bitcoin can do, because it doesn't deliver what it promises. It's not peer to peer. It's not efficient.
So they got to pay their annual or their monthly salaries just for a transaction to buy a loaf of bread. Yeah, that sounds smart.
Yeah. It's like, what? I was talking to my family the other, because they're like, hey, the cryptos over here, they're giving us $20 free, and we have to open it. And I was like, look, open the wallet, get your $20, and send us to a bank account and spend it on something. I was like, I wouldn't put my $200 every 2 weeks on there. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
The models of proof of work don't make sense anymore.
It doesn't. It's not for a poor country. They're pushing it on poor countries, and I'm like, that's so indecent. That is major, like, so wrong on many levels, because these people are already struggling.
Because the overhead, the proof of work model and the overhead just does not make sense anymore. Mm-mm. Once you realize,
it never did.
Yeah, once you
realize, like striving to do that,
it's security theater. Yeah, it's absolutely security theater.
Paying
like,
people.
This is what you have to do this. Well, why couldn't you just make the code? I mean, so things happen like that. They're experiments. You try things out, you find better ways of doing things. Then we call that innovation. And Hex is a better way of doing it. It's no external sell pressure. And it's like, look at the Ethereum network and their fees. Who's making the money? The miners are. No. It's not the holders. And I saw a post today that somebody said something about, well, the holders make money in Bitcoin now, not the miners. I'm like, what? How is that?
I think I saw that post, and I told them, yeah, I'm holding Hex, and I just got paid like around 5. In my time, 5. Did you get paid more? But nobody answered. Of course, like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to hold Bitcoin. If you're like in El Salvador, at the price Bitcoin is right now, it doesn't make sense to hold it. I'm sorry. Like, you have to know your limits, in my opinion. $30,000 Bitcoin, it goes up. How much does it need to go up 20%? How much capital does it need?
I mean, what do you actually gain at this point, right?
But it crashes 85% in a week, so it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense. Not for poor countries anyways.
Yeah, today you can eat, next week you can't.
Yeah. You can't.
That makes sense.
You can't.
Hey, Wally.
Yeah.
On another subject, this is actually a fairly serious question, but what advice would you give to somebody who has an interest in driving to El Salvador, like driving a motor vehicle? I mean, how much have you traveled in your local area, like outside?
I recommend an armored vehicle.
Thanks.
Look, so it's like any country. If you go to El Salvador, just get in contact with a travel agency.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll take care of you. They'll tell you where to go. They'll not let you go where you don't need to be, because like you said,
make sure you get the right travel agency. Yeah, we're the guys you hired.
Yeah.
Come this way, back in the truck.
Well, apparently, Don't Panic has an idea.
Yeah, man. and they'll take care of you. And it's just like any other country, to be honest. But it just stay in the tourist places. don't try to be adventurous and be like, you know what, I'm gonna leave the resort and go explore, because you're probably not gonna come back.
The fact is, I know 2 people who drove to Costa Rica with no problems at all. And one of those people encountered a teenage girl who hitchhiked to Costa Rica by herself. No problem at all. So, it depends on just how you...
I'll tell you this, man. If you have cash in your pocket, you can buy yourself anywhere you want. But it all depends on the mood of the person you meet that day.
Sure.
$20 can satisfy them, or it could be 100, or I don't know, man.
Here's the 3 things you're recommended to drive, bro. You're gonna go down to El Salvador.
What's up,
Hey guys. Hey, how is everybody? I've been enjoying listening to the conversation.
I don't recommend you drive around, to be honest.
Well,
you need somebody from there to drive you around, and you be in the back with the tinted windows. They'll recognize you, man. You stand out if you're from the U.S., even though you're Salvadorian, you stand out.
And you reflect way too much light, Timmy.
Yeah.
Just saying. Even for some neighborhoods over here, you reflect a little too much light. So.
Yeah, but
even for the neighborhoods he comes from, he reflects too much light.
Look, the country's beautiful, the beaches. Everything's cool. Just stay on the tourist side and you'll be all right, man. Because just like everything, they have their ways of getting around stuff.
Timmy, you tourist.
Hey, man, I like to travel. Give me a break. Hex has allowed that for me.
I like to travel too, man. I like to travel down the road, and right back here. Here is good. I like it here. I invite people to come visit me. I like it here. I have everything I need.
I can vouch for that. I visited Johnny, and his place is pretty cool.
Yeah, just be safe, man. Just be safe.
Hashtag Coca-Cola. We need you guys to be less white. Hashtag Coca-Cola.
I mean, even me, like, I'm too white to go, and I'm from El Salvador, so it's ridiculous.
When the guy from El Salvador says use caution, I'm going to go with his recommendation.
Yeah.
Hey, Dorsey, don't ever do it again, or you're kicked forever. So don't ever do it again.
So who's our new visitor?
It's good to see you.
This is Randy.
Oswood.
Hi, Randy.
Yes, you were here last
Hey guys.
FN Hangout.
Yeah, last week. That was amazing. I can't believe I met Richard on stream. Incredible.
That was cool having Richard on.
Yeah.
Super good. Going back to trashing Bitcoin.
Right on. My favorite subject. Go right on ahead, Randy.
I really hate when people mention the cost of securing the network as if the cost is value. Something can cost something, but that doesn't necessarily translate to value, essentially.
Yeah.
So there's that common misconception of because the hash rate is at all-time highs and it costs.
Well, it's security theater, just like Johnny and Richard said. The only people that can hack you are the people you're paying to secure the network. They're the only ones with the equipment and the electricity required to attack you in the first place.
It's middlemen basically justifying their own existence. That's what it comes down to. No, you need my help. You need us. You need us so that you can pay us. You need us. That's what it is. I mean,
well, they've tried to create this value behind this mining thing, and it doesn't exist. See, what I think the thing that's not being explained to the whole world, to crypto, to non-crypto, to coiners, no coiners, is what inflation is. Inflation is coins or dollars or whatever you want to call it coming to the market, and how that is distributed is what inflation is, and how that inflation is calculated is the difference between Bitcoin and Hex. Bitcoin's inflation comes in at a certain percentage rate with a max supply of 21 million.
120 years from now.
Yes, to equal the value of the miners using their energy and their hash rate and all that stuff to create a worthless, meaningless program. So it's still doing nothing. It's doing a whole bunch. They're basically going 100 miles an hour going nowhere is what's happening. That's what a miner does. It goes 100 miles an hour and it goes nowhere. It's just spinning its wheels. It does absolutely nothing. It creates no value. It's the ruse of value. So the inflation of Bitcoin, in order to make it come onto the market and make it act like it means something, just like fractional reserve banking acts like it means something to bring the dollars into existence, well, that's how Bitcoin is brought into existence. Hex has a completely different system. Proof of stake and staking is how the inflation comes into existence. At 3.69% a year, every single year, we're going to get more Hex to the staker class. Based on how many stakers are there, that 3.69 inflation is going to go to the staker class. Now, here's the beauty of that. There is no miner to pay, meaning they're not going to dump the Hex onto the market to pay the bills. That there's not something worthless going on. There's something actually valuable going on when Hex comes into existence. When Hex inflates, it's being staked for an average of 7 years plus. So that brings value to the product. The more of
inflation.
It's deferred inflation. It's the most amazing. I think that next to shares and share rate, the deferment of the inflation of Hex is probably the second most important thing that we should be understanding and talking about. And we don't talk about it enough, and it's very confusing because I don't think that a lot of people understand what inflation really is. Inflation is money being created out of thin air, and it all gets created out of thin air, whether it's your fucking dollar or your yen or your Bitcoin or your Hex. It all is created the same way, out of thin air, into something that supposedly has value. And whether it's fractional reserve banking or Bitcoin miners or Hex stakers, you just have to see the value in all those things. And where is the real value? Hex staking brings you more value to your Hex than any other inflation tool. Period. End of story. That means it's more valuable than all of those things. And in the future, it's going to be even more valuable. So you better get your heads out of your ass and realize that, people, because inflation of all of your money, whether it's Bitcoin, dollars, or Hex, is what's important. How is that inflation being calculated? And how are you positioned in it? That's what's important.
So, and it's amazing to me that people talk about inflation all the time, but if you think about it, Bitcoin doesn't help you fight inflation because it stays stagnant for a long time. It drops. With Hex, you're getting paid every day. You know what I mean?
It's productive.
How do you combat inflation? You make more, right? You get paid more. You make more money. You can't fight inflation with the same amount every day.
Well, see, there's two meanings of inflation too here. I don't get these two conflated with each other.
Yeah.
Because inflation of the value of things that you're purchasing, or the loss of the purchasing power of your dollars, your Bitcoin, your Hex, is something completely different than the actual inflation of the currency increase of supply. So how that is measured versus what the effects of inflation are, and how to like you said, combat against them. You know, that's kind of two different things. And Hex is the hedge against inflation because the value is being secured and you're being paid the interest for holding that inflation in a secure place. So on top of not being diluted like people who hold liquid Hex, you are actually, gaining interest every single day, and that's the real value of Hex. And once people start to get to understand this, that's when we're going to go viral.
And that's what people need to understand with Bitcoin is they're getting diluted every 10 minutes for the last 10 years just holding the coin.
Nobody has the concept of it's done and it does what it's supposed to. People are still stuck on a finished product because they never seen that in the space.
They've never seen it. Never. They're still not used to it. It's an enigma, man. It's a fucking enigma.
And I'm guilty of it. Like, straight up, when I first found Hex, I'm like, where's the white paper? How is it distributed? I'm all in hex.com.
Where's the roadmap?
Like, what is this?
Where's the website with all the smart-looking devs? Where are the pictures of the devs at?
Where's the 5% for devs? Where's that 30% for marketing or some ridiculous number that never gets used for marketing.
You mean that the founder actually just puts a little number on a pie chart and says it goes to that when
I'm like,
it goes into the founder's pocket? Yeah, they're okay with that. As long as there's a pie chart and there's some kind of story about where the money goes to, they're actually comfortable with that. But then if you say there's no team or there's no building to pay for, they still assume there's downward sell pressure.
Yeah, they don't understand.
They don't understand those charts with those money going to allocated to these things means downward sell pressure is what it means, and they don't get it.
That's the problem that Eric Wall is having understanding, because he doesn't understand like that Hex is finished. If you go back to the interview he had with Richard, he tells him, I don't understand how this is gonna work. A finished, like he says something in the lines of that way. I don't want to quote anything. But
I'm trying not to be triggered, Wally.
Because they don't. They've never seen it. They've never experienced it.
He's fighting it, man.
The only thing that they've ever experienced is the shittiness that is Bitcoin. That's the only finished product that's out there, is the shittiness of Bitcoin. And it didn't get finished properly. It didn't get finished well. So that's all they have to go by. And they've always wanted more. They just won't. They just won't look at what's more, because everything that they've tried to look at that was supposed to be more has never become more than Bitcoin. It's always been shittier than Bitcoin.
If you read Eric's tweets, he's just having a hard time understanding that it's a finished product and it's paid on inflation. It's so simple, but he's used to being more complicated.
Well, it's funny because the captain and I had a private phone conversation about this. How some of the most brainiac people out there right now, some of the galaxy brains, it's too easy for the concept is it escapes them, and the normal people that have actual wisdom, not just book knowledge, but have wisdom and have lived and experienced this life, we get it. We understand it. There's so many entrepreneurial people that own their own businesses that are, investor minded, that just get Hex when they see it at the first get-go. And then you've got these guys that are come from the developer space. They're like, oh, it's not complicated enough. It can't possibly be what you think it is.
Well, it's plenty complicated on the back end. It's plenty complicated on the back end, but up front, it is literally just the inflation, the new supply, using that term. The new supply is distributed to the stakers instead of the miners for doing security theater.
Yeah. Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. I think actually Richard kind of burns it when he does that, damaging the environment. It's true, but that seems to be like a trigger point for him. Yeah. And maybe he needs to let up on the I
don't know. It's a hot topic in our world right now, but most of us don't give a damn because we.
Yeah, I mean it's not. They go into like that shell, like you're being. What? We're destroying the environment. What? It's like they lose the message because they're hung up on the. What do you mean destroying the environment? Because you have to explain to them that power plants make pollution.
Mm-hmm. Look, it's not about the amount of energy that they're wasting. It's that you don't need to waste any energy.
None of that needs wasted in the first place.
It's unnecessary.
Yep.
We don't need to go back to
the miners. What we have to say is what the miners actually do is the miners are completing a task. That task can be changed from this task of burning electricity to simply this task of locking coins up. It's that simple. The task can be changed.
Yep.
And the function,
the value of that task. Yeah.
And proof of waste is cost, not value.
Yes. Cost, not value.
Exactly. And staking creates value, not cost.
I feel like Bitcoin went from the bullet trade to like the steam engine, man. Again, like back to loading coal to make that thing move forward again.
And that's fine. That's history. That's progression.
Yeah. We got those things all over the museums out here. The little steam engines.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You don't leave the bullet train to go back and load up coal on the engine again.
Yeah.
Where you have this poor guy in there just shoveling like the whole trip, making sure it's
here's the thing. We hammer on Bitcoin. RG loves to hammer on Bitcoin, but here's the fact, right? How old's a hammer? It's old technology, still useful today.
Still works.
Right?
But you can use a crescent wrench for a hammer too.
Yeah, well,
I know a lot of guys that I've trained that. That's what
why
they
they
use
call
for
it
a
a
fucking
custom hammer
hammer.
wrench, right? And that's why a lot of people
That's
call
the
them
adjustable
toolbox.
hammer. They got a Phillips hammer, a regular hammer, an adjustable hammer. They got crimper hammer. They got a hammer. Yeah,
The
You
long-
need the
what
right tool to
Add a
get the
little
right
rotor,
job
you can,
done.
like,
As time
nail stuff
passes,
now.
things become more efficient, and but there's nothing to say that Bitcoin won't. Bitcoin's still going to be around. People are still going to use it, and that's okay. But they don't understand what it is. You don't have to know how an engine is built to drive a car. And a lot of people that hold Bitcoin are drivers, and they don't even know what it is that they're driving, right? So they'll come up with these conclusions of, well, Bitcoin's deflationary. No, it's not. There's new coins being made by miners and dropped on the market, every 10 minutes. Okay, you don't understand. Bitcoin is inflationary for the next 120 years. Mm-hmm. That 21 million market cap doesn't matter, because Bitcoin will be printed for the next 10 minutes for the next 120 years, and none of us are going to be around here to see that end cap that eventually comes. And that's if the miners don't change the consensus at that point in time and decide to do something else with it.
Exactly. Hey,
which they can.
Elliot Brand, thank you for the 3333. That's right. All you rec plebs need to hit that thumbs up. I don't even care if you hit the thumbs down. I know Identity Block joined the other lonely loser that had the thumbs down. He didn't want him to be lonely by himself. So I appreciate you hitting either the up or the down. I'll take either one.
Children of the Grave, thanks for the $5. Appreciate you, man. And Ladies, the most available man in all of crypto, Brasology.
Hey, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, Brasology and his big, beautiful crypto bags. He heard us talking about the Bitcoin, and he had to come in here.
Exactly. Who's talking shit in here?
Not us.
Someone said it was finished, and you know what? It's really not. It's always being upgraded or constantly in the process. So it's actually, when I first got into Bitcoin, I thought it was finished.
Attempted upgrades. Don't forget that. Attempted upgrades. Let's be real about it. It's not upgrades. They've never upgraded anything. It's been attempted.
Well, they got SegWit at one time. They
wait. Where did that go? Where is it?
What do you mean?
What did it do?
Allowed more transaction space. Is that the question?
And did it help anything? Did it help anything?
Yeah, look at the transactions from 2017 till now.
Most of the transactions still
more Bitcoin free claim tax than there were in the Lightning Network.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another point. Why are you messing with this failed Lightning Network? Oh, what is the deal with that? You might as well just use.
Look! I don't want to get into a Bitcoin shitcoin fest. I don't want to get into. I get in so much trouble when I bash Bitcoin. It's fun. I love it, but I don't want to do it. I love Bitcoin just as much as everybody else does. I really do. I do love Bitcoin.
As much as we don't want to admit it, Bitcoin is the first thing everybody hears.
It is the GOAT. Bitcoin
got us to the dance, right?
So yes, I don't.
Got me here.
As far as
moving just show the respect for your elders, all right?
But I don't talk about my Nokia phone all the time. Just because it has to.
Guess what I do? That's just fucking indestructible.
I just don't invest in Nokia anymore. I still have one in the cupboard, but I don't invest in Nokia.
You play Snake on it and then put it away again?
I was going to say that about the Snake game.
You wouldn't have the horse and buggy if you didn't have the wheel, and you wouldn't have the car if you didn't have the horse and buggy. So, you got to start somewhere, and you make improvements.
Love you, Bitcoiners. Love you.
Those technologies have not created identity issues in the people who used them. It's like people came around to using cars. They weren't these horse.
Did they?
Eventually.
You know what happened with cars? The buggy industry had people walking in front of the cars with flagmen and limiting the speed.
About that. Hey, where'd Johnny go?
He didn't want to deal with this. He's like, I don't have to explain this. And he left.
TechKen, $5.55 to all the Cuatro Cinco Club members. Hex, yeah.
Hate it when my computer cuts me off in mid rant.
But yeah, you're right, Johnny. There were attempts to, inhibit the adoption of the car at first.
In any innovation, in any innovation, you look for the most resistance and you will find that innovation. The Wright brothers, they were laughed out of the local bars, man. At that point in time, nobody had ever flew. That was incredibly insane. You know, they got heckled, they got laughed at, you know, and there were people in denial for the longest time until they saw the planes fly over their head.
Yo, that's trippy though. Imagine you're living at that time and then somebody flies by for the first time. That is a trip, man. I gotta admit.
Well, here's another fun thing about that, right? So, Richard mentioned the cargo cult thing. You're familiar with what cargo cults are?
Yes.
Okay, so for the audience listening, that is primitive people that haven't seen things as aircraft, because there still are parts of the world where we have people that weren't seeing aircraft. When they saw them, they would describe them as giant birds or bird gods or something. So literally, they built like statues and stuff of them. And what they brought was the military people who were flying in the planes at the time, and the military people would stop off and drop off some of the gifts and trinkets and stuff that they had. So they figured if they built these statues of these things, that they would come back and bring them more goodies. So they built these effigies in order to do that, but they didn't understand what was going on. They put the association with the getting the goodies from these planes, and so they kind of worship them, to bring back the goodies. So we still as humans kind of evolved in the similar fashion, just not to such an extreme. So when new technology does appear, it does take a while for us to be able to process and accept what it is that we're looking at, especially when there's a great change after being used to something for such a long period of time.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because that reminds me of The Gods Must Be Crazy, 1980 comedy film, written, produced, and edited and directed by Jamie Hughes, an international co-production of South Africa and Botswana. The guy flies overhead, drops a Coca-Cola bottle in a remote African village, and they can't believe what they found, so they go looking for the source of this and find there's a whole civilization out there of modern technology. And so the Bitcoiners have essentially become the Luddites of the technology world, thinking that their technology is going to be forever.
They're the lost civilization. The lost civilizations of Bitcoiners.
Yep.
I guess my point is the change from Bitcoin to Hex is not as radical as the change from the horse and buggy to the car. They're both along the same lines, but it's like they're too proud to just accept that a superior product has come along.
Where's the horses go, Timmy? I gotta see. When you said this has horsepower, I don't see.
Where does the gas go?
Randy, hello.
Where does the gas go?
Man, in the past, when I've been watching the streams, and I'm like, you've been asking the same question for the past 30 minutes, bro. Like, where does the ETH go? Like, I don't buy a burger and say, hey, what you doing with that $5.99 I just gave you, man?
That's exactly it. Hey, Burger King, I really need to know what you're going to do with that $3.99.
Get from your investors, Alex. Oh, BitMax? Ah.
Oh, man. Talk about career ending, right? Sanders.
Nobody asks these influencers, hey, where does the paid group money go? Where did the super chats money go? Where do all these link sponsorships go? Where does the money go when I click on your ledger link? Where's the money go? Yeah, nobody's asking that, are they?
And nobody says Richard delivered a finished product. It's done. It does what it's supposed to. No more need of cost. No more need of anything. They don't look at that, man.
Look at the competition, right? Okay, $70,000 to get ETH 2.0. So to buy yourself a job, or you can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin miners, and then you can pay electric companies most of your gains. How do you make yield? Or you can go yield farming on Ethereum right now and pay exorbitant fees for removing and adding liquidity, right? And who's making the money? The miners. Where are the benefits for the users? Where are these users going to go to get yield without being taxed to shit by the networks?
That's crazy.
Great question. It's a great question, but yet guy putting together a legitimate product that's finished. We got to know where all
that you can
the money
come in
went.
at any level. Any level. You can put $50 in and start earning more Hex today without no power bills, no electricity, secure network. Price performance has been awesome. What is their problem?
I got to speak to this. So here's exactly where it's going. And let's just be straight up front and honest about this. If there has been any value that has been purchased, in Hex or in Pulse or in whatever, again, like I said, it's been here to value the product, just like, which is done in the real world all the time when an investor within the company invests in the company that it owns. It's the same thing that's happening here. Value is being created by it investing in itself. So there's nothing wrong with what's going on. And again, another positive for this product, another positive for Hex and Pulse, is the thing that everybody is afraid of. It works in the real world. Why would it not work in here? It's not something that crypto is trying to combat. They've never tried to combat that. Centralized ownership has never been combated anywhere. It's not centralized ownership is only dangerous in little scammy projects that people are trying to rip you off for a few $1,000 so they can get away with it. Somebody tries to rip you off for billions. It doesn't work that way. That doesn't happen. People don't just exit scam like that on that kind of money. People with that kind of money are building something significant. And that's what needs to be seen here. And that's not what's being seen. The other thing is that you were talking about, what is one to do with their crypto, with their coins. If you don't want to buy miners, if you don't want to be part of that process, staking is the easy way for somebody to do it. If you don't want to go and suffer impermanent loss from being in an exchange, put it on a node. Go out there and validate a node and try and make a little yield that way if you want your Pulse to make some money for you, or and then we've got the most ultimate tool in the world for that, and that's Hex. If you want to go really get a store of value and make dividends on your future self and putting holdings somewhere, Hex is of course the best answer.
See, I want to know where we ended up with this fractional reserve crypto shit. That's what I want to know. I want to know how crypto started out being crypto, and now it's all about institutions. It's all about giving somebody else control of your money in order to make some kind of pathetic yield. Why is it that these things that are finance coins and finance platforms, which mind you, these finance centralized platforms are the BitConnect 2.0, because you are giving them control over your money and they have the off switch. And yet every influencer out there is promoting the shit out of these finance coins that they're paid to. And then they turn around and they point at Hex and they call it the BitConnect when they're the ones that are promoting lending platforms.
And I never gave up control of my keys in Hex.
Is you give us your money, we'll pay you interest. No, Hex isn't that. Hex is you control your keys. You are the miner in Hex.
It doesn't matter if they're using the narrative that we're providing liquidity to institutional companies, or if you're saying you have a trading bot. You still gave up control of those coins, and you're hoping and praying, please pay me next time you owe me a payment. Please send me my coins. Hex, you never let go of your keys. You always have control of your crypto.
And why is it that they can't understand that new supply is distributed to stakers like Bitcoin's new supply is distributed to miners, but they never question, where is this interest coming from on these coins that I stake? Not realizing that that is the actual Ponzi, because the money is coming from the new people that are entering the platform. And they're not realizing that that is the Ponzi. And they're overlooking the fact that Hex is a product that produces what it's giving you.
Don't these platforms also lend out these coins to the traders?
I don't know what they do with them, Briz.
I think they lend them out to the traders, and then the traders go, you know what?
You don't have control.
Yeah,
If they're lending them out to the traders, that's the same thing as the BitConnect
so that they can
bot.
short the coin that you're letting them borrow.
They short their long future contract or something. There's like an arbitrage of a certain percent. But how funny is that what is a Ponzi scheme? You tell someone this complicated story that sort of makes sense, and then you could potentially lose your coins. When we've got an open, verifiable source code where we can read, and it's literally the opposite.
And they're calling us the Ponzi, and then they're promoting the Ponzi.
Remember, you just have to say that this is a shared pool.
Out anything. I think it's fractional reserve crypto. They literally are taking the money from the new people that are coming into the system, and that's what they're paying out as interest. Okay. And I don't believe in this imaginary trading bot, or they're loaning them to traders. This is the same exact narrative as BitConnect. BitConnect had an arbitrage bot that loaned the coins out, and then it traded in high frequency or some bullshit, right? And then that's where they got the interest that they paid people. Hex is cut and dry. It is the new inflation that comes into circulation automatically distributed to the stakers. It has the permission to permit what it's paying in.
Here's something that frustrates me is Charles Hoskinson holds $1 billion of ADA. He stakes it, earned $40 million of interest this last year, and no one says a damn thing about it. But where's all the ETH, Richard? Where's all
40
the
million
ETH,
a month? I think it's a month. Got a feeling.
Oh, it's a month.
40 million a month?
Doubles.
Might be.
For a promise coin that he collected all the money up front. By the way, that's called a security.
What?
For a promise coin that you're holding on to and you haven't produced fuck all for products yet.
I'm about to pass out, bro.
Yeah.
40 million. That's a lot.
Yep. So thank you all for donating all of your money to Hoskinson. You guys are brilliant for doing so. Hope he comes through in the next 10 years when his granddaughter releases the smart contracts on ADA.
And Johnny, to go back to your...
It's been the third largest performing coin. He's a smart guy holding the supply is. If he held a bit more, they might have performed a bit better.
He's a great salesman is what he is.
But if he had more of those coins...
Have you read the code? This is just it, right? Nobody reads the code. They buy ticker symbols and they buy promises. How do you know that it's a good product if you're not even looking under the hood? People literally will tote about their coin and never have read a line of code.
Yeah.
You're only relaying what other people tell you when you don't, if you don't examine the functionality of it, and most of these coins don't have a functionality. So there's really nothing for you to, get excited about. What? How many of the XRP army have read the XRP code? Have they ever? Nobody looks under the hood. They just say, oh, it's a good thing. Let me, I like the way it looks.
The bankers are going to use it.
Yeah, it's the story. It's the story they're buying.
They have parties, man.
And it's the same old stories, too. Like, I just got off the phone with somebody who's invested in crypto, but they don't know what they have. They don't understand DeFi. They don't understand custody. They don't understand new narratives or new technologies. This gentleman I talked to this evening actually told me the old story about XRP and being part of the banking reserve and all this other crap. I mean, literally, like, sold me a story from 2016, and it was like, dude, these people are living under a rock. They're waiting. He's still literally waiting for that, that boat to come in. I think XRP in the news is going to moon because of, it being part of the banking
recycling
reserve.
Of narratives. They recycle
it's
these
the
narratives
recycling of these old narratives. Yeah. And they're still like, what I found really funny about Charlie's little escapade here in the last few months is that when he started getting hammered by Richard and the community here for having a promise coin and not having smart contracts, he literally, within a week after getting hammered, announced that smart contracts were coming.
Yep.
And that has been a little narrative that has popped up its little ugly head about just about every couple of months since that happened. And still, to this day, there's no launch day.
It's a delay. Sorry, there's a delay.
Competition is what is necessary to push innovation forward. If you do not have competition in a market, they will get lazy. And if what they do so far is effective enough, there is no reason to push any harder. And what Hex has done is it has flipped the crypto space on its head. Now we got people talking about audits. Now we got people talking about decentralized exchanges. Now we got people talking about smart contracts, right? Now we got people talking about interest. Now we got people talking about DeFi and yield, right? Why do these things happen? Because Hex has turned the world on its head. And now they realize, look, making just a bullshit promise isn't enough anymore, right? And now they have to actually start to compete, because if they don't...
So, real quick, regarding that comment by Christian Starr, when everyone says, you know, these things are a Ponzi's or a pyramid, you just got to remember is that all cryptos are basically a shared pool. It's basically like an insurance scheme.
Insurance scheme. I like how you say, let's throw that word scheme in there, Briz.
It's true, right? I don't want to call it a scam.
I killed
it's
Epstein,
more of a scheme.
$9.99. Thanks for the $9.99. I think people began using crypto to earn yield, which was not its original intent. The mismatch between peer-to-peer and earned trustless yield is what invited middlemen. Hex fixes this. I agree.
Yes.
Thank you for the $9.99. I killed Epstein.
I like that name.
Earning trustless interest should be a feature of crypto. I mean, it should be a feature of crypto. But
yeah, it should be.
The scammy,
yield off any financial product.
The scammy, shitty ways that you get it in crypto are no good. They're not working. And that's where what Hex fixes. It gives you an immutable contract that you operate yourself, where you can pay.
When Bitcoin was first launched, and they had to sign a task in order to receive the new coins, it worked out fine. The power bills weren't bad. All computers could do it. It wasn't bad. It was fine. What happened was over time it became corrupted, and it became controlled, and it became centralized. Because now the average person cannot compete. Unless you want to drop $1 million, you're going to be asking where your money went for your miners, because you ain't getting that money back. You're only able to purchase a job by dropping a large sum of money and have to keep up with the equipment, and then you're paying to support that. So the average person can just forget about competing in that ecosystem. And if you are not one of the people that are producing the asset, then you're at the end of the food chain, not at the top.
But I think one of the biggest things crypto has is who pushes the product. So with Bitcoin, it was Lambos and greed, and so that's what it turned to, right? With Hex, you had Richard for years before he even launched Hex, his followers telling them how to win in different ways. Like, yes, you can make money, but there's other things you can do to make the world better.
Now it's Lambos and watches and
but that's because he's trying to go mainstream. He's trying to show that Hex does have gains, which is I understand. I mean, if you want to buy a Lambo, that's fine. You can, but his picture is just making the world better. You can ask Max Kaiser what his world is, and he just wants $1 million Bitcoin.
Yeah,
that's it. There's no reason for it. Yeah,
I spoke to a Bitcoin dev, and he tried to put commits through, and the miners aren't interested. They're just not interested in upgrading. That's the problem.
It's just greed.
There could be innovation, and they're just not interested in accepting or forking anything in. And that's the problem, is where you're not going to get innovation if the people at the helm, the racketeers, that own all the equipment, aren't going to let the network be upgraded and progress. Then you're never going to get there, are you?
No, they got a good thing going. Why would they want to change it, right?
That like Richard, I think Richard mentioned,
you won't change until somebody steps in and puts you on your head. And that's what has happened here, is a lot of things have changed now because unknowns have been proven, right? Unknowns stop people. Once a known becomes proven, and you can prove that it can work this way, now you gotta step back and go, oh, okay, wait a second, this does work. Now, what are we going to do on our end to compete with this other thing that works?
Even with ETH 2.0, no one's really discussed that it could be contentious for the miners. They may try and keep the chain or keep a version of the chain. I don't know how that's going to play out. Obviously, Vitalik, yeah, that's what I mean. So that could be contentious at some point.
Well, I think that's why I think it's already contentious, and that's why we don't have ETH 2.0 or any upgrades right now, because it was contentious, and he didn't want to go up against that. It's only obvious. I mean, why would a smart guy like that, who's already created the technology to move his product forward, why would he not launch it? There's only one reason. There is only one reason: pressure from those who have moneyed interests in it being bad still. Period. There's just like everything, just like what's going on in the United States government right now. This whole Senate thing can all be narrowed down to who wrote that bill or that piece of legislation that is trying to get shoved into that bill. Where did it come from? Wasn't. You guys don't have any clue of you think your government's trying to do something to you. No. Back up, guys. This is K Street that wrote that legislation, that gave it to and handed it to your legislators who are trying to shove it in that bill, because those people who wrote that legislation, who you don't know who the fuck they are, and that's the key. You need to find out who got that legislation through the lobbying powers to put it in the hands of those senators and congressmen, so that they can stuff that thing into this bill. So you follow the money, and that's who you'll find out is doing this. I think, and I haven't done enough research yet. I just started looking today. There's two camps that are trying to. They're a bipartisan camp, so obviously they're trying to play the fucking three shell game, three shell Monty on your ass, 3-card Monty on your ass. So you don't know, is it coming from the left? Is it coming from the right, or whatever? So, we're in a bipartisan group here to try and amend this thing, right? Well, who was it on the money side that put this legislation on the table? Who's sticking it in this bill in the first place? And to me, guys, from the way the legislation is wrote, it's coming against DeFi. It's coming against all the DeFi products. It's coming against Hex. It's coming against decentralization in the right way. And it's going to favor the exchanges. It's going to favor Coinbase. It's going to favor the Bitcoiners, the maxis. That's what this bill is really looking like it's going to favor. I don't think it's going to hurt all of crypto. I think it's just going to hurt the DeFi space, to be honest, the way I'm reading it right now.
The guys that you give your coins to are going to benefit from this, because they're going to be the only ones that can AML, KYC, and 1099 all the brokers out there. So, so they're going to be, to me, I think Captain's right. I think that's the moneyed interest. These lobbyists are just firms that you hire. It's who paid them to write these bills and put them in the hands of the senators and the congressmen, because that's where the laws come from. You think Maxine Waters is smart enough to come up with this? Not a freaking chance. She doesn't know the first thing about DeFi and crypto. But she doesn't even know what she's doing. She's got a lot of people that fund her campaigns and that say, "Hey, you want to be in this seat in 4 years from now? Then here's a bill you need to push." Yep. So,
and the other thing is,
come from, guys,
when they bring them to the senators and congressmen, see, they don't understand what crypto's all about like we do. I mean, we understand, and even the Hexicans know more about crypto than most people in crypto understand. So they don't get it at all. Those congressmen and senators are so far removed from it that this legislation and how it's handed to them can really be packaged as, we're trying to protect the interests of the people out there who are getting wrecked. This young man, look, all they got to do is put the story of this young man on Robinhood who gave up his life because of margin trading and things like that, and say, we need more protections in these trading spaces. And crypto is a great place to start, because it's the big boogeyman right now. Not to mention that, Robinhood has done all the shit that it's done with its trading platforms in the stock markets. They're going to come after crypto first, because it's the boogeyman, because they can't monitor it. They can't check it. They're having a problem with it. So they put the boogeyman on the table. They say this is going to protect people from sticking freaking guns in their mouths and because they margin traded too much and all that kind of shit. And so they put that stuff on the desk of those senators and congressmen, and it makes it real easy for them to walk it on over and vote for it and pass it over to all of their other bleeding heart people that are going to go, yes, we need to push more regulation in there to protect the people, and that's how this stuff is sold, man. That's how it's sold. Our freedoms and our liberties are sold right out from under us in ruses to protect moneyed interest on the other end of it.
And that's another thing, is Robin is fractional reserve crypto too.
Of course.
Robinhood is fractional reserve crypto too. You don't actually own crypto on Robinhood. I had a lady come over. I was trying to teach her how to set up Hex, and she's like, I own crypto. I own Doge. And I'm like, you do? I said, okay, let's go take a look at your app. And I got a hold of the app. I'm like, where's your wallet? She's like, what's a wallet? I'm like, where's your send button? Oh, I can't send it. All I can do is I can buy it and I can sell it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't own crypto.
Yeah, when you sell it, there's this big old process and everything else, and you never get to sell it.
Yeah, so you can either sell it or purchase it, but you don't really hold it. You can't transfer or physically move the coins from address to address or any of that. So literally, you know, these promotions of Doge, they weren't buying Doge. The company might have been, but you don't really know if they did. It could just be a unit of account. In technicality, they never really technically had to have the coins because it's not like they could redeem them for actual coins. So that's some other weird stuff going on out there, right?
It's fractional reserve. I think you're right.
So I got I want to bring up a different topic if you guys don't mind. Johnny Chaos, sure. I think you're going to have a lot to say about this, is the application that Motley Investor is trying to make regarding Hex. Have you guys know anything about it yet?
I like Motley. I think this is a bad road to go down. I don't know if Motley was actually with us at the beginning of Hex and at what point he came in. But lots of hourglass type games were built. And
so do you understand what the contract is trying to do yet? Or
Hey, enough of this. What does the contract do? Explain it so people aren't sitting there going, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Exactly. So as far as I'm concerned,
let's just not do this.
No, this is perfectly fine.
And then we go from there. You can't just say don't do it, not do it. Like if people want to build, man, like Richard said,
the contract, what it does is that everyone pulls up, the Hex until it reaches 150 million, and then it stakes it so everyone can get the bigger pays better bonus.
They tried that in the beginning.
Hex Max, Craig Grant, same thing.
It's admin keys.
Our glass.
We don't.
Well, I mean, if there's no admin keys, right?
Motley is an OG Hexican. I have nothing ill to say about him. He's a good man. He's my friend. All that good stuff. But I just don't play any of those games. I don't mess with it anymore. We got burned in the beginning, guys. A lot of people got burned. A lot of people played these games. You get stuck in them. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. If those people that want to go out and do those kinds of risky things, I just don't want to talk about it here because we've played that game before.
Yeah,
I remember.
Because people go and do it. They go and do it. Whether we say it's fucked up or not fucked up, people go and do it. Period. End of story. And that's it.
So man, guys, I got there's that dip earlier to 10 cents. I did 3 fucking transactions and they all fucking failed. That pissed me off so much.
Yeah, the failed transactions is getting worse. That's another thing. Is
I can't buy dips, man. I tried. I gave up when I lost like $300 already. So you can't buy the dips in Hex. It's number one, they buy it off too quick. And number 2 is the fees are too high.
And the orders aren't getting filled all the way. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm finding like 1-inch mods, all of them, they're not filling the orders completely. You're dipping in and you're just not seeing the orders getting filled. I don't know what the deal is.
Maybe there's already pending orders for that, as soon as it hits, it buys it off, and we're waiting for the dip by the time we put in the order.
But I'm seeing it go past. I'm seeing it go past the orders and sitting there, and then the order not getting filled. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah,
I had failed. I gave up, man. I'm just gonna wait and transfer everything to Pulse and just buy over there. Let it fail as much as it wants on Pulse.
Have you seen that problem, Johnny?
94% get filled. There's like a 6% that I think an R bot is eating up, but I've not had anything like go straight past me. So I've been.
But check this out what Tripod is saying. He realized his transactions were failing. He realized his transactions were failing when he didn't use whole numbers and not decimals. So So you try not putting some decimals in there, guys.
That was true with the sacrifice as well, actually.
Yeah,
it was very true with the sacrifice.
Thanks, Vitalik.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was like last minute sacrificing, and he said, "Oh my gosh, the transaction's still going through, and it hasn't, and it's clicking over." So I don't know if maybe it's going to register some of his what do you call it? Some of his validations, or it's not going to go in because it didn't click over right when it ended up going through, but it went over like right after 0. He saw it go through.
Yeah,
so
it is possible that something that they did with upgrading the consensus code had an effect on the integers, the decimal spaces. So yeah, that's what I'd try. If because it was in the sacrifice phase, and that might be what's causing people problems buying right now too. It may have to do with the updates.
Yeah, those failed transactions are bullshit. Go ahead.
Having cheaper transactions and faster blocks at 3 seconds. I think there's a new network might have heard about that might be able to make something like that work better. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you guys
I like this concept.
This rumor I hear.
It's like you get a brand new cell phone that's just like your old cell phone, only this one doesn't cost you a monthly fee.
Yes, I like that.
That is what Pulse is a comparison to ETH,
That's a good way to look at it.
Well, by the way, if you buy new cell phones, they don't come with chargers no more. So
yeah,
just to let you guys know.
I got a new cell phone and I was like, where the hell's the charger at? They're
like,
Are you kidding me right now?
Give you
I bought 2 iPhones from T-Mobile.
Yeah.
I get home, I gifted them, and they look. First of all, I gave them iPhones, okay? And they called me upset.
Yeah. There's your first problem.
I'm like,
well,
okay.
That is a problem. I'm not gonna lie.
And I'm like, I'm like, okay, those phones are like $1,200 each. I'm sure you can buy a charger, right? They're like, but they're supposed to be with a charger. And I call T-Mobile, and they're like, yeah, there's no more chargers. I'm like,
because they want to charge you $99 for their charger, and they want to charge you $129 for the one that's 6 foot instead of 3 feet long.
I ordered the bullet
ones. That was crazy, dude. It's
everybody sells chargers now, though. They're like everywhere. And
I ordered the bullet ones from eBay. They're like $5 for each charger, and they're like 10 feet long. So whatever.
So with the Samsung, I noticed that we got, because I like technology that works and isn't overpriced for underperforming stuff, so I don't buy Apple. But anyway, I get a cord for charging, but I don't get the wall plug anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is the deal with this?
I turned that box upside down. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's attached at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe it's a button. Maybe I have to press a button and it like blows up on my face or something. Nope.
So you guys know you can actually change the outlets in your house to have the USB ports in them.
Yes.
So I've got a couple outlets in my house that I've changed out and actually had the USB ports just in the outlet.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, but I can't take that with me, man. I can't put it in my pocket.
I like that.
That's true. But I don't go anywhere.
Brought to you by 7 to 11.
I don't go anywhere.
This episode sponsored by 7 to 11. You can get a 50-footer at 7 to 11.
That's so funny. I've seen those at 7-Eleven.
I have seen those next to the donuts and stuff.
Hey, after we figure out this crypto and Senate, then we need to call them about getting our chargers back in our phones.
It's really funny.
That's right.
One time I went to work and I forgot my wireless earbuds, and so I went to 7-Eleven and I bought the corded earbuds, and then I freaking realized when I got back to work that my phone doesn't have the plug-in. I'm all son of a bitch, and I returned it. I can't use these.
They don't know the pains, RG. They don't know the pains of once upon a time. The longer cord on our house line was the big thing. We could actually go into the other room and have a conversation.
And it's stretched. And it's stretched.
And they had one that was like 25 feet long, man. You can stretch that sucker all the way around the corner of the house and shit,
And your mom would find you because you just followed the cord, right?
Man.
So get this. I went looking at a compound here in Colorado today. Excellent deal on it for some Hexican investors. We went and looked at it, and there was a toilet, or there was a phone hanging above the toilet with the cord on it. And I was like, man, that was luxury back in the day. Like to have a phone right above the toilet, corded and everything. Man, you were big time.
When I bought this place, Kinetic, when I bought this place, the guy had this place for like 60 years. So I've still got rotary phones in the basement. I got a rotary phone in the garage. I've got a rotary phone that was in the shop above the toilet. There's a phone line above there. The phone wasn't there. But
Johnny, you might be sitting on a gold mine, bro. I think some of those go for like thick, 2-3 grand.
Those
rotary phones?
Yeah. Well, it depends what you have. These ones were like really, really nice. I don't know which ones you have.
Those things are bad motherfuckers too. Those phones were thick, man. You could like kill a motherfucker with those things. They were so bad.
I mean, there's movies where you see where they kill motherfuckers with that. So
yeah, they'll beat your ass with a phone. I remember my old man hit me with one time right upside the fucking head, and that thing went ding. I was like, oh, shit.
So that's what happened.
That's a whole nother story. That
explains a lot.
Yeah. All right, my old man, he
identity plug. The 60s sound so cool.
Hey, wait, it was the 60s.
Oh man.
I wasn't here yet in the 60s. Sorry.
Me neither.
Greatness was born in 86 for me, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Hilarious. My mom has a rotary, and the phone service charges are extra because it's old tech.
Oh man!
So does Bitcoin.
I was gonna say Bitcoin charges you extra for old tech too.
So does Ethereum. Boy, do they like to charge you for that old tech.
Oh, Mythology's boiling over there.
Doesn't matter to me.
The hodler. Oh boy.
Ideal for
party lines.
Ideal for home defense. Rotary phones, ideal for home defense.
Yo, can you imagine like you need an emergency and you're like like someone's trying to kill you and you're like.
And then the hard thing was because if you tried to run it back fast, you would catch it because it goes back slow. You can't go fast. It's like
no way.
Yeah, you couldn't even pull it back. It would like push against you. Like
hey, fire department, my house was on fire like 30 minutes ago, but it took me that long to dial you guys up. So just don't even send anybody.
Are there even operators anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, because you used to dial 0 for an operator. I don't think you do that anymore.
No.
There is, but they charge you like $5.99 and you get
India.
And I get Bob in India?
Yep.
Thank you for calling the operator. How may I help you?
You're looking for a Denny's? Let me find you the Denny's. they find the Denny's for you, bro.
Those guys know where the Denny's is at.
He's talking to you. You have a problem with your phone? Let's try unplugging it first.
Don't forget the stuff.
Do you remember? Speaking of phone lines, hey, do you remember the? Are you lonely? The late night show freaking commercials with the paid lines.
976 numbers. 976 numbers.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny because they tell you restart it. Did it work? No. Okay, it's busted. You need a new one. I'm like, okay, that was quick.
Do you guys have the talking clock? No.
The talking clock.
You guys on that one. Yeah. So you ring 1, 2, 3.
That was fighting words.
Oh yeah. It was. What was the damn number? It was. You made a T for time. If you wanted to call it time, it was.
You can still do it here. It still works.
It was
cool for the time.
Now we just ask Alexa.
853. Oh, it was 853-1212. If you did 853-1212, that gave you the time.
I don't mess with none of those voice activated stuff, man. They creep me out.
You really had to go back to the phone and look at the numbers, didn't you, RG?
Yeah, that's what I did. I looked at the numbers because I just remember.
Go back to the phone and look at it, be like, your fingers
muscle
are still
memory
programmed to do that.
Yeah,
It's like
walking
it's
on
not circular.
31213.
The numbers are not circular. How do I find that out?
I want to see if it still works. Let's see.
Go to the party line. I think there was a party line before.
I am gonna go buy this phone number. 976.
No, don't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore.
Oh, I love it.
There used to be there was a movie called
ours still
976 Evil too.
Okay, so here's the hard part. It's calling the phone company and trying to get like $900 worth of 976 numbers off of your phone bill. That was the hard thing when you were a teenager. It was like, fuck.
I didn't call the 976 number. My mother would have beat me with that rotary phone and I wouldn't have been here.
I think that's why I got hit with the phone one time.
I knew better, man. If I ever did that, my old man, I wouldn't be here today. Straight up. My old man was still strict, old school dude, very firm.
So my buddy,
I was waiting for somebody to bring that up.
my buddy has this number with it. I won't tell you what area code, but he has this number. And I said, I will give you $10,000 for this phone number. And he would not sell it to me.
Of course not. It's the most famous phone number in the history of America.
It's his business phone number too. I won't say what.
Yo, why is that number famous?
Escort service.
Song.
From a song.
75309.
It's a song.
75309.
My number.
Who's the boomer that sings it?
Tommy Two-Tone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tommy Two-Tone. I was going to say Tommy Two-Tone. Because people used to call me Timmy Two-Tone.
Oh, I thought it was like Bruce Springsteen.
What?
No.
Oh, man.
Get out of here, Bruce.
Dude.
Sorry.
And he's gone.
It's a one-hit wonder, dude.
I'm lost right now. I don't know what you guys talking about.
And he's gone.
Time out.
Well, we better start talking about crypto here pretty soon
I
before
know.
we start. We've got all these views, so smash the like buttons. We'll get back on track here. We need to start talking a little bit about what's going on out there in Pulse News. I know this week has been like a relaxation week for a lot of people. For me, anyway, I won't even take Kinetics' calls this week.
I know. I feel so unwanted and unloved.
Look, I gotta go. I can't talk to you right now. You're
I got
breaking,
more important
Nah,
things.
you're breaking my serenity here.
I gotta go custom order my new Porsche. So.
There is so much.
I got called out by freaking what's his name? Dustin Hawks, whatever his name is.
Hawks.
He's like talking to me about how fast his Hurricane is. I don't even know if that's his Hurricane that he's got there on the Twitter.
It looked kind of like a stock photo, didn't it?
Yo,
I
RG3,
don't-
you're starting car beefs, man. People are coming up to you like, yo, I got this. Let's go. I'm like, whoa,
I
this
gotta
is
have
getting
like 3
serious.
kids.
So
You can't fit 3 kids in the back of a Lamborghini.
yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids to put in a Lamborghini. I don't have any kids to put in my Porsche either. That's my car. That's my car. But no,
Kids
it's
get made in the Lamborghini.
Well, maybe if they're short like you, Bruce.
Hey, don't be jealous.
I'm jealous.
Hey, Captain, I don't know if you've been out here by the 405 and the 110. There's like a Porsche
my whole life.
testing center where you can like get
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
called The Experience.
Yeah.
I'm going out there in a couple months. You get to go. It's just like the test track in Germany.
Yeah.
So they built a duplicate out here in Torrance, and it's actually Gardena or whatever. And you can you go there. It costs you about $1,100-1,200, I think, and you spend the day and you get to drive all their cars on that track that they have on the track. The GT3, the freaking.
I think they have tiers. There's like the regular Porsches, and then the one you want, it's like they make you sign all kinds of waivers.
Yeah, you got to sign waivers, and you got to go to class. They teach you.
Yeah,
they teach you a little course class.
They don't just give out the one you want is like they want you to like practice, and they bring a professional driver.
Yeah,
because your ass is gonna end up in the freeway somewhere and not realize how you got there, man.
It's a nice little course. It's a nice little course.
All I did was tap the gas. My whole life just flashed before my eyes.
Welcome to heaven, my son. What?
But there's all these cars have different use cases too. Like, I mean, yeah, we can start beefing, talking shit or whatever. But like, the Huracan, the Lamborghini, that's a sexy motherfucker. I don't give a fuck whether it's great technology. That's a sexy ass beast right there. And it's fast, and it fucking sounds great. And I mean, and chicks dig it. Period. End of story. You're fucking
Charles Hoskinson owns one.
I don't care. So it's like
that's where the ETH goes.
That's that 40 mil a month, bro.
Where the Cardano goes.
Yeah,
40 million a month.
Yo, Captain, you don't get like nervous that you might get too excited on that bitch and just fucking take off?
Oh man, I'm old, dude. I'm old. There's only a little. I only got a little bit of go fast in me every once in a while, man. It's not like I ain't like all full of like you young guys like want to do that shit all the time.
I ain't buying it.
I got on a Corvette once, man, because I was used to driving like a Lexus, right? Whatever, it's fast. Got a Corvette, man. I was hauling ass, and you get like, how do you say it? It's like you feel like you can own the world, man.
Hi, man. Hey, that's a real hard part about that Porsche. So the Porsche, the turbo in that thing, it sets you back in that seat so fast, man. I mean, it's like, woof. Oh, wait, who did that? Really, Dorsey? Guess what you just bought yourself, buddy? Guess what you just bought yourself.
Blow up the pacemaker.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your time in the brig there, buddy.
There you go.
So now I want to get off cars because there was a really good question in here, and I want to talk about this. Far-out aliens.
We don't want to talk about my new turbo Vespa? Come on, dude.
No.
Okay.
So the PulseChain developers are not your average crypto devs. They are next level. Get ready. And now that should be the exciting thing that we're thinking about right now, because Richard said it just recently that his devs are actually helping the Ethereum devs to figure some shit out, and they've adopted some of their shit. So that's like proof in the pudding that what they're doing is working, is even being adopted by Ethereum itself, and Ethereum's even being helped by the PulseChain product.
At the moment,
it's like it's one more attempt by Richard to extend the olive branch to different people.
When I hear Richard talk and post launches, it's not gonna be what we imagine. It's gonna be so much of a game changer that we're gonna be like, mofo did it again. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
because
all we need is a damn freaking chain that we can transact on that doesn't cost us a small fortune. I mean, that's all we need. That's game changing in itself. That you're not getting exploited and
I think
and
I think that's why he's taking his time. I think that's why he's taking his time. It's not your normal hard fork where you just
we don't want a bunch of failed transactions. If we can get rid of these failed, because right now ETH is just like, man, failed transaction after failed transaction, extortion fees to get in and out. How do you explain this to a new user? Hey, by the way, all right, so first you're going to need to buy yourself some ETH. You're going to need to pay the Coinbase people for that. And then you're going to move it over to Uniswap. Now that's going to cost you $100. And then you're going to trade it for this other thing that I want you to get. And that's going to cost you another $100. And then you're going to move that and you're going to stake it. And that's going to cost you another $100. I mean, come on. How do you explain that to somebody and justify that? That's absolutely insane. How does that increase adoption?
Yeah.
Has Richard touched on, if we go from ETH to Pulse, have you guys tried Polygon by any chance?
Yeah.
It took like a day for me to get my funds.
But it was like crack when you got there. No. It's going to be completely.
It's not going to have those time delays.
There's no onboarding. You're already going to be onboarded. So the problem is that you had to basically you had to escrow your Ethereum or whatever you were bringing across. You had to escrow it in, and then
someone had to flip the switch.
Timing, so that whole timing process, and now your shit's in escrow. It's sitting there. You don't have control of it. All you've got is what's on the Poly network. So if you want to offboard, you have to go back through and, hey, like Richard told everybody that there's admin keys there, you know, and you don't have control of that. So if you get caught or stopped or shut down, that's your problem. You know, you gave custody of your shit up to somebody else. And
no, I try that. That shit
is not going to be that way. It's going to be, you're going to go into your MetaMask, you're going to hit a switch, and everything that you have on your C20s, minus a couple, will be instantly there, open and in your wallet. And everything that you bridge over, that you bring over, is going to come over if it's, you know, if it's allowed to.
Yeah, I think he's just talking about the bridge itself, because there was a time delay on the bridge, and that had to do with the fact that it had to go to an escrow, and someone had to manually flip the switch to send it along, and then when you're coming back out, it was a manual flip switch to come back out too. So that could take time. So I think the bridge that Richard's going to build is not going to have like a person with the lever. It's just going to be,
yeah, I think it's going to look a lot more.
There's
like
no escrow account.
It's going to look a lot more like Ren BTC. I don't know if you guys have ever gone into ETH through the Ren Bridge project, but it's seamless. It is seamless. The longest part of the wait to get your BTC turned into Ren wrapped BTC is the Bitcoin network confirming your transactions, and that's all you have to wait. And then once it hits the Ethereum side, boom, it's yours in your wallet. It's phenomenal. So you got ETH, which is faster than Bitcoin. It's still obviously slower than we want it to be right now, and it's a lot more expensive. But between ETH and Pulse, this should be, if it looks anything like that, and the only wait is the actual transaction verification block times, then man, this should be quick in and out, no problem.
So I have a question regarding Ren Bitcoin, Ren BTC.
Asking for a friend or what, Briz?
Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. No. Basically, the question is that when it gets copied over to P Ren BTC, should that actually have any value? Because each Ren BTC is backed by an actual Bitcoin, but each P Pulse version of Ren Bitcoin is not backed by a Bitcoin.
It's going to be interesting. Interesting.
And the answer to the question is, we don't know until the market decides.
That's popping the genie out of the bottle right there, baby. That's going to be interesting shit right there.
That's more interesting than the USDC version.
I agree. 100% agree.
There's going to be some mind-blowing shit that's going to happen. Motherfuckers their heads are going to spin around in circles. They're not going to know what to do.
But if you try and unwrap it, on the Pulse side, it's not going to, or would it?
You won't be able to.
No.
You can only unwrap it on the Ren.
Yeah.
Network or whatever, so it's going to come
over.
You
should be able to trade Ren BTC for Ren BTC.
Right?
Richard is an evil genius, man. Look how much confusion we have right here.
How funny would that be that the Ren contract would read the same keys as the ETH contract, and people are sending all their
just thinking
Ren BTC and claiming it in for BTC.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, here's the thing.
That would be hilarious.
I don't know that a lot of these codes have thought about what happens if
they don't even know what's going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen.
It's going to be new.
Richard was talking to a guy about his app
that people have no idea about.
And
hide your crypto. Everybody's getting raped up in this motherfucker. Hide
it. Hide your
crypto. Nobody has decided to bring over the whole entire Ethereum state before, right? Nope. So this is not something that anybody saw coming.
I love
so
this,
some of the coding.
Yes, this is Inception come to fruition right here.
Yeah, so some of the coding
you guys see
may not be up to
developer talking to Richard, and he was lost too because he owns an app or whatever. He's like, "What's gonna happen to my app?" And Richard's like, "Well, it's gonna run on Pulse, but what if I don't want it?" He's like, "Nuke that shit." That's what Richard said. Nuke that shit. You don't want it. And then he's like, "But then if you need it, you're not gonna be able to get it back." And he's like, "What?" Just tell me what to do. And Richard's like, I don't know, man. We have to find out together.
Yeah, we have to find out.
I don't know, bro.
I'm just gonna light this motherfucker right here, and I'm gonna step back and see what happens.
You should have told him. His best thing would have been like, nuke your position, buy all the hex you can with it, because I can promise you that will be on both networks. That's what he should have told him to do.
Yeah, I think he said something down the line. He said the most
hex.
secure thing you can do is hold Pulse and P-Hex. That's all I can say, man. Everything else, we're just going to wait and find out together. See what happens.
This is going to be fun, man. This is going to be some fun shit.
All right, guys. It's been fun, but I'm gonna head out.
All right, homeboy. We'll see you, man.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
Hey, we'll see you on Twitter, Wally.
Good to see you.
Dude, that guy is a bag of laughs and a half, dude. I love that guy on Twitter.
Wally.
He keeps me in stitches. Yeah, he keeps me in stitches. So I do know this too. Identity block holders will get rich in this bitch. That I think that is a true statement. So if you don't know what
blocks,
to do, your
they've
best
been
bet is
holding the fort there in the PulseChain chat and answering lots of questions and really holding it down in there.
Do any of you guys know about this? This is pretty interesting. Can you guys make a PulseChain announcement? Looks like they're going to have a billboard agent in the Pulse chat tomorrow.
Billboard agent?
Yeah, so you guys make a PulseChain announcement. We're going to have a billboard agent, Adam McGinty, on the PulseChain com chat group at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So there was something proposed in Hex Pro. I didn't look into it too hard, but it looks like a lot of community-funded billboard projects in random towns, and I think that's what looks like. There's going to be community organized marketing on these billboards. So I don't know. There you go. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't know a whole lot. But if you guys are interested in seeing what this Adam McGinty has to offer you guys, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Get the word out. Get the word out.
Yep, get the word out. I'm okay with you guys marketing on behalf of my bags. I'll allow it.
Well, the question is, we got to check up on this stuff because we need to know if it's legitimate. Hey, I got this bridge to sell you over some swampland in Florida. Yep. You know, I mean, there's going to be a lot of this.
Everybody be very, very careful about giving your money to anybody for anything.
Yeah.
It's just not a safe world out there. And that like,
Correct.
you know, like I said, if you give it, like all these people that we've talked about, they've got projects and products and things going on. That's why I just can't promote everything here. The only thing that I can promote here is Hex. And I think Pulse is going to be good. So I'm putting my confidence that Pulse is going to be good, but it ain't here yet. So I can't tell you guys that Pulse is, you know, something absolutely fabulous and amazing, because it'd be lying, because I don't fucking know. So, but I know what Hex is, and I could sit here all day long and tell you how fucking good Hex is, because it is. It's been 2 years, well, close to 2 years now, year and a half plus, and we have not had one failure, not one hiccup, not one anything. And Hex has performed flawlessly, and it has performed beyond all of our Moon Boy expectations. It has performed beyond it. I mean, when we were talking big numbers, when we were talking silly, we were all setting each other up. No, stop it. And Hex has outperformed all that shit. All the stuff that we said it was going to do, that we thought we recognized within the code, within what was happening, has come to fruition. It's happened. And we get to stand behind everything that we said and go, look, we were pretty fucking brilliant. We saw it coming, and it came. And if you would have followed us, and if you would have followed us and did what we did, then you'd be sitting in a very, very sweet position right now. So guess what? Our future predictions of what Hex is going to do is not future predictions of its price. We never really just kind of sit here and talk price. Every once in a while we'll play around and talk price. But the future prediction of its performance is almost inevitable. Like, for instance, the supply is disappearing. Like, it is going away, guys. Shares, like we said, are going up in price like nobody's business. There is going to be a day that those shares are more valuable than Bitcoin. They're already more valuable than Ethereum. So the shares have gone from being 60 cents to being more value than Ethereum in a year and a half. So that was true. Now that the dwindling supply, literally, mark my words, I'm going to say another thing that is going to come to fruition is that you will have people waiting in line for your new minted hex. Let me say that again. You will have people waiting in line to get your new minted hex that you unstake. Then when they come out, they're going to want them. And you, the normal crypto trader person, what's going on out there today, would say, I'm going to dump these things because there's a lot of people that want them. No. The staker class is going to think twice before selling any of their coins. They're going to go, how much coin can I afford? How much T-share value can I afford to have given up on this stake that just ended? Because you're going to cry that day because your share is gone. Your T-shares will be gone. And now I'm seeing people staking B shares. I'm seeing B shares on their stuff now when they're showing me their stakes. So now you're going to have to make that decision, which is a decision that nobody in crypto has ever made. When they get yield, they fucking dump that shit on your head, man. That's what people are doing with yield these days. But in Hex, you're going to be going, okay, well, I'll take this much off, and the rest of it's getting staked out. And guess what? People are going to be staking that shit. I'll guarantee you beyond the freaking average. It's going to be 10 plus years in the next couple of years. When people are standing in line to buy your minted Hex, people are going to be staking their shit out for 10 years plus. I'll guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
Average is almost 6 years right now.
Yep.
Yeah, those days are coming, people. Those days are coming. Your shares are going to be valuable as fuck.
So I think it's really important at this moment in time to tell everyone, don't hand over your money for promises from the work of others. And outro. Just kidding, Captain.
I was like, that's abrupt.
We don't do that shit here.
Who gave that man keys?
My show.
I was about to put a foot in an ass.
Look on his face.
You gotta go? Something's wrong. He's gotta go.
Never mind.
I'll pull him down.
So, speaking of the getting in line to get the hex, something people aren't taking into consideration, because I know everybody's expecting this great grand pulse drop from launch, and I got news for you. There were a lot of people that did not want to get into the sacrifice phase that are waiting for your pulse when you do dump it. Because they didn't want to get into that phase, because if they got into that phase, they felt like they were giving money to Richard, and they don't want to do that. But they're willing to buy it on the open market at a higher price. And they will do that.
And that's okay. That's what we want.
When that pulse does come off, and it goes onto the market for the first time. And I'm curious to how big that demand is going to be. How many people are going to go, oh, pulse is out today, I got to get it. And what is that rush going to look like? You know, because that's going to be very interesting to see.
Well, and that's all up to, I think, how things. Well, there's already a demand that has already been generated, but now that demand is being generated by us, all the streamers, Richard, and what's going on out there. And the value of Pulse is being generated now over the next 30, 60 days before Pulse comes out. How many people are going to want to FOMO into it or be part of it? And it's like, okay, what's coming? And that's what people need to understand of what's coming. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about the devs, because Dev Kyle has been, a friend and a confidant, and we've had a lot of private conversations about his work and what he's done. And that guy is a brilliant man. I mean, he has really got his hands on, pun intended, the pulse of what's going on dev-wise in the Hex and Pulse space. And he is very intelligent. And the whole team, he tells me, he's always telling me this, that there is an extremely educated, knowledgeable, visionary. Just the crew of the dev team is phenomenal from what he says, and from what Richards says, and from what they've done. I mean, look at how they built Hex. Guys, I've never seen a crypto not have a fucking bug or something go wrong in its launch phase. I've never seen it. I mean, I was involved in a lot of different ICOs in the early days and watched a lot of them, and watch most of them, and you just seen always there was some kind of hiccup, some kind of a failure, some kind of a retrace. They had to go back.
Matic was buggy as shit. Matic was buggy as shit.
Oh yeah,
was buggy as shit.
I mean, and I'm not talking about front end stuff, because front end stuff is always, there's problems with front end stuff. Even Hex had its early day front end issues, and it really wasn't problems. It was stuff that wasn't there. Like, remember when we had to actually count the days to stake? Like, you had to go in there and you're like, fuck, doing the math. What day is this? This month, that, and you had to count the days. You didn't have that counter to tell you how the calendar, you had to freaking count the days and figure it all out.
Our rotary phone days.
Yeah, our rotary phone days. So I'm not talking about the upgrades to the front ends and the bugginess of front ends, but just the crypto code in general, and what was happening with a lot of these things back then. And to this day, you see it all the time. And a lot of these things were intentionally programmed into them so that the founders or the holders of the majority of the crypto can actually exit scam on you. That was done. Some of that stuff was put in there so that it can be done. I remember a very early project here that was built on top of Hex that did that. And so there was a lot of these things that are done intentionally on top of having problems, but Hex has never had that problem. So the dev team is going to be a real big selling point for Pulse, because these guys they're going to be putting things in there, and there's going to be development that is going to be very beneficial to people who like to use chains. If you're in crypto and you trade ERC20s or you use ERC20s, you are going to love PulseChain, because they are going to make it more efficient. They're going to make it cheaper. They're going to make it faster, and they're going to put bells and whistles in there. Now, that's the thing that I'm interested in.
Won't cost $200 to make an NFT.
Yeah, or anything, a transaction, a trade, a calculation. None of that stuff is going to be. Now, that was the one thing when I did go over the Matic network that was like crack, man. It was like you can do trades and transactions for nothing, because they gave you a handful. Yeah, they gave you a handful of their free token when you came over as kind of an incentive, saying thanks for coming over and trying it. And like, I went in there and made a bazillion transactions, and I didn't even spend the coins that they had given me.
And it was just one. You were using a fraction of a Matic.
It was using a fraction of it. And it was like, oh my gosh, is this really happening like this? And it was like, this is how crypto should work.
And then you try to get out, and Ethereum bodyguards are standing there saying,
and then the bouncer. There was that, and that was like, oh, buzzkill, right? And that was, you guys are bringing me down, man. Give me my shit. I remember when me and Hexo were in there playing, and we were trying to get back out. His transaction didn't go through for like a 24-hour period. He was fucking hot. He was hot, man. He was texting me, bro, they're stealing my money, man. This is oh shit. They're stealing my money. They're gonna, and I was like, dude, just chill, man. It's going through, And when it did finally go through, I tried it after him just to say, I'm coming too, bro. I'll go in there and move mine shit too. And I went and moved mine, and mine transferred over in like, within the 15-20 minutes or whatever. And Hex
someone was there to flip the switch.
Well, his was still stuck for a few hours even after that. So I don't know what happened to his transaction, but it just got stuck in between there. It was buggy, like you said. It was buggy, but the operational end of it, the trading end of it, the transactionary end of it, going in there and being a liquidity provider and all that stuff was just micro pennies. It cost you nothing, and it happened fast.
What was nice though was you didn't have to bridge into it. If you wanted to bring new money into it, you were able to use Transact, and then you were able to just select the network as Matic, and you were able to directly purchase Matic and bypass that entering altogether. So hopefully they'll be able to do that with Pulse, where Transact, you'll be able to select your network, be it Ethereum, be it Matic. via Pulse, and you'll be able to buy Pulse directly.
That would be nice.
That is what's going to kick ass, because then you have an on-ramp built in that allows you to bring real money into the Pulse ecosystem.
Like, you mean fake money?
You guys are still talking? I thought I shut this down.
I thought the captain just shut you down.
You guys are still talking?
This isn't the green room?
Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last. I can promise you that much too.
Dev Kyle, that guy is so smart, and at the same time, he has that sewer humor that I can relate to.
You know, it's funny because he's this mild-mannered guy, and then you'll see like the cutthroat room start, getting, Unrec gets in there and starts churning things up, and the conversations get pretty raunchy or whatever. And Dev Kyle goes right in there with him and starts hooking and jabbing with everyone. It's like, holy shit.
I swear I think someone gets into his account occasionally and talks to him. That just doesn't seem like the Kyle that we know.
Yeah, and then it's Dev Kyle and Sammy in there, freaking mixing it up with Unrect, and it's just, oh my gosh.
Dude, Sammy is turning up.
Kyle's in the chat. He's stalking us here.
Is he? Well, good, because Kyle is the unsuspected, hilarious one of the group, man. He is hilarious.
He's funny and brilliant too.
Did he do his interview today? Did he do his interview today?
Yes, and he said he put it in the chat earlier. He said he has 3 hours of information to drop about his conversation with with Eric freaking Walls, whatever.
Yeah, I would love. I didn't know that he had done that. I'd asked him about that earlier. So I had him DM me. It's a 4-part, 3.5 hours. So I'm hoping he'll let me drop it in Discourse Syndicate. I hope he'll let us release it.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I was curious to whether or not Eric would post it or not, because when I had a conversation with him, what it said was basically what he was looking for was something that he could clip to kind of frame and satisfy his audience without promoting Hex.
Yeah. So let me explain this to you, Anon. In the Cutthroat Room and an invite, yes, it is, and you can only be invited by me. Not that it's some exclusive club or anything. Believe me, once you get in there, you wish maybe you weren't let in there. But what it is that room is set up directly for people who have made a significant contribution to Discourse Syndicates. So if they've done that, we only have about 44 people in there. So these are people that have contributed to Discourse Syndicate, to the network, put in work, put in streams. So it's people who have actually, made a significant contribution, and, not just asked or whatever. So that's what it's for. And I'm not trying to make an exclusive club. I just want to make a place to say thanks for everybody for helping out. And then it started out as a place where I could post I used to put people in there just to post the link so that I can get some help on stream when I was by myself and, didn't have any content to talk about. So in the early days, like Johnny'd come save my ass, and then, Brasology would jump in there, and Timmy B, and of course, Kinetics came in and helped out, and he just jumped in and said, I'm gonna help make this thing real because you suck. So he came in.
I said, you're a great you got a great voice for radio, and we just need to pull to your strengths and let the real business people do the back end stuff for you. And he said, okay, fine, I don't want to do that shit anyway. So I said, all right, there's a place for me here.
Yeah, because I said, yeah, and you have a great face for radio, is what I told him. And
that's true.
So working behind the scenes is going to be great, bro.
It's perfect place for me. Perfect place for me.
So anyway, but that's what the Cutthroat Room is for. But one thing, so there's 234 people here. Guys, smash the likes, hit the subscribe, put the bell, dislike, like whatever one you want. But what I want to say to all of you out there on the Dev Kyle issue, if you don't know who Dev Kyle is, he was one of the he calls himself an outlier. Like he was kind of like just brought in to help Richard with a few things. I think personally, I think he's shading himself a little bit. I think he's more involved than he leads on to be.
You get that idea too?
Because he's brilliant. He is freaking brilliant. And I'm definitely a Dev Kyle fan.
Totally.
And he's my friend. But he was the gentleman who has made Hex what it is, really. He helped to solve a problem, and that problem was interest payouts, and how can he make that fair? And he ran all of the algorithms and models that showed how the share rate was going to work. So he helped to create the share rate. I think he was actually the person that did create it, to be honest.
Godfather of the T-share system.
He is the godfather of the T-share. So the most important element, the reason Hex is a Nobel Prize winning product is because Dev Kyle did the work and made the T-share what it was. And taught us all about it, got on stream, made it easy for my dumb brain. It took me so long to understand what a T-share was all about. And he helped to finally fucking smash it in my fucking head, and it was his work that did it. So for those of you who don't know who Dev Kyle is, he is the godfather of the T-share.
He has the best mustache in crypto, right?
And the best mustache in crypto, yeah. He's got that like freaking sleeper muscle guy look to him. Like Kyle's like the mild-mannered dude that will like jack your shit up in a quick second if you got like sideways on anything, just.
He looks like he could be a 1970s like undercover cop.
Magnum PI.
Whenever I see him, I always think of that music video by Beastie Boys, Sabotage.
Yeah. There was that like episode of Simpsons where everybody was like picking on Flanders, and Flanders goes, and he's like all muscles.
Yeah. It's like I'm wearing hardly nothing at all.
Hey, we got another cutthroat, or not a cutthroat. I'm sorry, we got another Hexican in the room. Hold on one second.
Did we drag him out?
Dev Kyle's Flanders. Hey,
what's
UFO?
happening, UFO?
UFO.
Yeah, hi everyone.
I like your background.
Just a little a word from the sleepy old Europe. I don't know, it's about 5:17 here right now. But I just, as always, couldn't sleep, and it just wanted to jump in and just put a little bit of my thoughts into it. Again, not leaving everyone speechless as last time. One thing is the liquidity thing, right? Today we saw these, dump, and we also saw that liquidity and people buying it up, that comes with demand. So when Richard was asked why the liquidity is so low, and people are talking about you cannot cash out or anything, no, this is wrong. Basically, it has been proven today.
None of them have the amount of Hex that was sold today anyway. They don't have anything to complain about. None of them are holding $1 million worth of Hex to dump on the market.
Yeah, right. How much liquidity do you guys actually need? $240.
Yeah, liquidity comes with the demand. It will.
Liquidity on demand.
I graded up to some. No, it's over here. Some pulse stuff.
It's nice.
And then the politics stuff, right? Like all this things going on in the U.S. with the senators and stuff. I have been working in politics, and I would say politics follow votes. And sadly, some of the politicians follow their own interests. So, but what is their own interest? It's power and money, and power through money. So you think politicians are not into crypto, not invested yet? Right. The ones that are will just take the ride, and the ones that are not are trying to probably dump the price to get in with, putting up bills like.
I think we would be very surprised to know about how many politicians actually have some kind of crypto either donated to them or purchased themselves. I bet you there's quite a few that have it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I remember, a couple of years ago when like, hey, this person has Ethereum and this person has this. I was like, really?
I remember hearing some kind of disclosure regarding the percentage of congressmen who have some kind of crypto holdings. I don't remember the numbers, but it was a pretty substantial amount.
Yeah, it was greater than zero, right?
Yeah, a lot greater.
You better believe the Congress people are going to do what's in their best interest.
Yeah. Damn, they're not that dumb.
I haven't really looked into that bill at all. It just kind of sounded to me like, what it was they wanted to get rid of all decentralized wallets. So any wallet that you could download from an app store, you'd have to go through like a centralized exchange. And the whole idea is that that's kind of ridiculous. The whole reason why Hollywood couldn't stop movies and music sharing, it's the same exact thing with cryptos, and cryptos are built on the same technology, that BitTorrent technology, where it's connected peer-to-peer. You just can't stop it. So, it's like trying to take out the ocean water with the pixie cup.
Yeah, you cannot stop it. And actually, I think it is. I'm pretty optimistic, basically. Because politicians will not care in the end if it's centralized or DeFi. So once they're in, they will come up with all the liberty talk themselves. So they have ways to cash out to fund their campaigns. All the bankers I know put 10% or something of their monthly income into crypto since mid-17. Private wealth managers for high net worth individuals started recommending 15% into crypto, at least for the last year. And I guess DeFi will rule. It might take a bit with what you were talking about earlier, but it's like with the phones. Yeah, it's like with the AT&T or the Deutsche Telekom. We had to wait for 6 weeks to get a phone connected in the 80s or early 90s, and had 3 different colors to choose from for one model of a phone. And now there's a European Union agency, which is actually politics, and that forced all providers to treat all calls within the EU like a local call. So and data roaming as well. So I do remember that I did a 2 hours call for $600 in 2001, and now it's basically for free. So politics follows people in the end. So I'm pretty optimistic, and all that senator stuff is just a cool breed that will probably dissolve with the next sunrise, I guess.
I kind of forgot about that. Long distance charges on phone calls.
There's still international charges. I just got some talking to all you fucking guys.
I don't call people outside of the only real country, America.
America.
You just ain't got no friends in other countries.
You guys,
he doesn't have any friends in this country. What are you talking about?
It's beautiful.
That's what happens when you hold Bitcoin.
Wait. I want to tell you guys something. So I'm going to dox this guy a little bit.
Oh, come on.
So Briss. So I wasn't lying when I told you the guy is he's a significant member of the crypto community. Let's just say I don't want to dox him. He does really well, and he comes pulling up. I go, hey dude, I'm in your neighborhood today. Let's go have lunch, right? So there's this really nice Thai food place that we like to go to. So we go to the Thai food place, and Brissology once again comes pulling up in this hoopty ass freaking Honda, whatever the freaking hell it is.
Well, it's a Lexus, buddy. All right, it's like
I can't tell what it is with all the primer and no fucking hood on it and all that shit. He comes pulling up in a car without a hood on it, like in this hoopty ass freaking primered up thing that looks like some 12-year-old kid fucking dreamed it up. And and that's his daily driver. That's his daily driver. The guy can buy a Huracan, and he has a freaking car that looks like it's got a V8 in it, though, right?
It's freaking awesome, dude. So yeah, it's a Lexus IS 300. It has a 6-liter Chevy V8, with a 6-speed transmission.
You made it sound a lot. You already made it sound really, really nice compared to what it looks like.
What, dude? It looks awesome. Did you see the golden intake, dude? Kids on the freeway.
Intake.
Yeah, it's awesome. Kids on the freeway are giving me thumbs up. You know, you get guys recording me from the carpool.
Yeah, they're like, "What the hell's this guy driving?"
Yeah, they're like,
kids that
You're reporting to the department.
I remember having a Chevette that choked out at 55 miles an hour being up on the highway, and everybody was waving at me too.
It's funny. Brizology rolls into the neighborhood, and all the neighbors are like, "Oh God, one of RG's friends again."
No, I only let him come to my neighborhood one time, and unfortunately, we went to Vegas, so he had to park his car in front of my house. Oh,
yeah, did you get an HOA violation or what?
Okay, so I got to make another public service announcement. For those of you guys out there partying and having a great time, please keep the DMs coming, the pictures of the DMs coming. Hexicans are having a lot of fun out there, guys. I just want to let you know. For some reason, you guys have all decided that you're going to send me pictures of your Fridays and Saturday nights, and I really, really do appreciate it. Keep them coming, guys. They're beautiful. I won't tell you guys who just sent me one, but he's about to call it a night. Let's just say.
My money's on coffee.
No, it's not coffee this time, believe it or not. Yeah. But coffee has sent me some beautiful pictures. Thanks,
Did you guys catch the Kitco interview with Richard?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
I just
fire.
watched part 2 today, actually.
Yeah, really good.
You know, the funniest part about that interview was literally like he went through and explained how the money was decorrelated. And then he goes, yeah, but how's it decorrelated?
Yeah. Yeah, but how does that work? What do you mean you've tied it to United States dollar?
Its primary liquidity is in USDC. That's why it's more attached to the dollar than it is to the crypto market. But yeah, I get that, but how is it? That was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Well, there's just so many anomalies with Hex that compared to the rest of the market that people do struggle to see how is that thing different.
Well, the problem is it's simple, and it's too simple for these guys that think everything should be more difficult than it really should be. It's like you guys have made a great job of the last 10 years making things more difficult to get in than they really should be. If you guys had kept things simple, stupid, more people would be in crypto right now. And Hex is one of those things. You don't have to know how the engine performs to drive a car. You just need to know what you need to know to push the gas and the brake. And that's with Hex. You just need to know you get trustless interest when you have it staked. That's all you need to know. You can get into the mechanics if you're into that kind of thing, but it works regardless of whether you understand that or not. All you need to know is how to send, receive, and stake.
And what they don't realize is the people that are in the crypto space are using all these dogmas and things they think that create value. And really what it comes down to is whether or not somebody likes the pretty picture and they click the button buy. If it's affordable, accessible, and they can click the buy button and people decide they want to buy it, they're going to buy it. So all this mythical bullshit they think generates value, it all comes down to whether or not people choose to push that buy button.
Yep.
One of the metrics Rich discussed as well in terms of the interviewer said, but how many users have you actually got? And Richard said we've got 35,000 to 41,000 stakes open.
45,000 stakers we got.
Yeah, it's actually 59,000 now today. So
that's great.
Jesus.
And I love how realistic. Yeah. I love how realistic he was too. He didn't try to tout every one of those as unique users. He even said, and it's probably less than that because there's multiple people with multiple wallets. So, and I love how he was real about that and didn't try to hide the fact. to try to inflate the numbers.
I wonder how many actual users Cardano has, and that's probably why they're not launching, is because they don't want to reveal those numbers.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
you guys were
I've
talking
always
about
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say one last thing about the whole Cardano stagnation thing. Is I always go back to this Silicon Valley show reference, where they're launching an app, but it's in the test net, and they're like, hey, let's actually launch it, and they're like, no, you never actually launch it, because when you launch it, it exposes how many users you have, and then you stop getting funding. The whole idea is that you just keep promising, you just keep getting that investment, and you never actually launch. And that's just what it seems like Cardano has always been like. And then as soon as freaking Pulse comes along with its launch, it's like, okay, we got smart contracts. All right, they're on the way. It's like, what? How long have you been sitting on that?
That's the whole crypto space. They go so far, they stop, they create a new ticker symbol with a new story, or they cut and paste the last project that they did, put a new ticker symbol on it, and call it the new coin. Again, you know how many 5-line code coins there are out there? Nobody looks at the code. They buy the ticker symbol. They don't even question what it is that they're buying. They buy the story and the pretty picture. That's why NFTs are so popular. Why? Because people are buying pictures. Literally. It cracks me up. I'm in it for the tech. I'm in it for. No, you're not. You're in it for the pretty pictures and the story time.
And then the network gets completely clogged from pictures.
Yep.
Went up to, was it 500 last week or week before?
And they're promoting this stuff. They're out there like excited about NFTs. They're like literally excited about NFTs. They're still excited about them.
And they look at Hex and they go, "What's the use case?" And you look at everything else and you go, "Well, Hex makes Hex. What the hell does this other shit do?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Justin Davis,
what's our use case? Are you asking that question because you need someone to tell you what the use case is of the stuff that you're holding? Because Hex actually has a use case.
No.
I mean,
thanks for
that
the
argument works for
Justin.
everything else.
Appreciate you, Justin.
I think there are actually some interesting things you can do with the concept of a non-fungible token as well.
Oh yeah, there's gaming.
JPEG's not one of them.
Digital items.
I think diplomas are a good use case for NFTs. No, seriously. I mean, how do you stop diploma mills? Well, if you can guarantee that an NFT came from a centralized location, like a school that has a public address, you can verify every diploma on the blockchain.
Who's going to do that, though? No one looks at the code anyway. So I go on to Rarible or OpenSea and I create myself a fake diploma, and they don't check the contract address to make sure that I got it from the right source. I mean,
well, I think that's up to the person you're showing the diploma to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still got 45,352 individual stakers.
I'm on Hex.vision.
Okay, I'm looking at Staker app. That's the amount of stakers in Staker app.
Maybe, possibly. This says unique stake addresses on Hex.vision.
And it's 59,000?
59, yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you, Sammy.
Oh, Sammy felt bad for you, Briz.
I know. She's like, oh.
I think I got a little comfortable just looking at my staker. I haven't actually been on Hex.vision in quite some time. So,
but these numbers are ramping up. We weren't over 300,000 wallets that long ago. It's 322,000 now. It's really ramping up.
Sammy heard that Briz was rich and easy.
Sammy would tear you up, bro. Sammy would eat you alive, man.
He's a man eater.
I think Sammy's a little too alpha for me. I was like,
she might just be just alpha enough.
Yeah, right?
All right. Well, I'll put this link out there one more time. I got someone out there asking for it.
What's that?
But I can't promise we're going to be here much longer.
You look like you're about to fall asleep there, Kinetics.
I am.
He's been trying to shut the stream down.
I tried 30 minutes ago.
You can go pussy out if you want, bro. It's okay.
Oh!
If you're feeling puny, go ahead. It's all right.
I mean, it's like 5:30 for UFO and I, so hardcore.
Here lies
12:30 where I'm at.
Fucked up by Sammy Chica.
I love it.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Death by Snoo Snoo. Futurama, that's awesome.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, who do we got here? Oh, hey, look, it's Toby Wan. What's happening?
Toby Wan.
Oh, there he goes.
Nice lighting, man. You got this mysterious, perfect lighting thing going on.
Very culty. I like it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it is very, very culty. Johnny should know all about the cult. Johnny.
Is that a head? Did you already chop the head off the chicken before you perform the sacrifice? What's going on?
Right.
So what's
it doesn't help. It doesn't help that I have a Halloween shop and I've got like one section that I walk by every once in a while that's got a pentagram on the wall because it's one of these things that got fashioned. You know, it's a decoration. So that doesn't help. You know, our cult theme. You know, it's like, oh, the guy's got a pentagram. He's evil.
Hey, Johnny. Actually, I got a question for you about that industry. Years ago, I was at a concert. And there was the hotel I was staying at, I was going down the elevator and there were these girls and they were in like the full body paint with like the different appendages, like kind of silicone fins and all kinds of, I mean, shit that obviously they were in a chair for like 10 hours to get done. And I'm like, what's going on at this hotel this weekend? And it was the Midwest Haunt Convention.
Oh,
and
yeah, I do that show. I haven't done that show in a while. Because now it's in Chicago. I guess last they moved it to Milwaukee, but it used to be in Ohio, and I used to do that show every year. And I probably know the painters who painted those particular individuals because they probably sell the same paint. It's probably Pro Air, and it's probably my friends that I was talking about bringing to the Vegas event to do the body painting at the Vegas event.
Yeah, but I ended up meeting a bunch of the actors from Haunted Hoochie. And we've became good friends with them. And I mean, that's been, probably 10 years ago. And just a really interesting community. And it's like, I came back and like checked out the convention later and had drinks. And then I ended up in an elevator with a bunch of them when we pulled the chairs into the elevator. And it was like 2 a.m. and we just rode up and down the elevator. And it was me, just like, you know, like the whitest white guy ever, just normally dressed from being at a concert, and then all these people in like crazy clown outfits and like a dead like sexy bunny girl and all these different people, and just smoked out. And so we called it the clam bake because it was just every time the door would open, someone would hit the button and all this pot smoke would just billow out of the freaking thing. And it was just so funny, the looks on people's faces. And then some people actually climbed in and like would ride with us for a while. And but yeah, it was very interesting. And then I got to see like some of the crazy animatronic stuff that is for sale, and I just had no idea like what a crazy subculture all that is.
Yeah, the big, you know, the Midwest Haunters Convention. Now multiply it times 10, and that's what Transworld is. So Transworld is the big one that happens in St. Louis. But in order to get into that one, you have to be in the industry. You have to be a registered buyer. But you can say you open up a Halloween store and register online and go do that one. But that is like that's the big show.
Yeah, right on. Neat stuff though.
And that's good to see. That's in Missouri.
Good to see everybody. Hey, has anyone heard about this video that I did called Hexico?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Guys,
what happened to Toby? Toby just dropped off. What happened?
Yeah. We've been getting after him. He's been shilling his video, and if you haven't seen it, everybody, you can go.
I'm just teasing it. Oh no! Now they got rid of the captain. Look out! I'm just teasing, dude. I'm sick of hearing myself talk about it. We've gotten almost up to 3,000 views though, so I don't know. It was fun. But
I was hoping you were going to use the hair clipper thing. You put it in at the end there, but now that I think about it, I'm like, nobody would understand that.
Right.
Nobody would really grasp that. Why are they talking about the hair clippers? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought it was better in the outtakes. You know, it just made more sense to put it there. So, but my editor did a great job. It was a ton of fun. So I can't wait to do another one. But I had a question, actually, Johnny, back to you. I feel like we're in Hollywood Squares or something. But yeah, right. But so what was going on with the gents of crypto? What was that about? A friend of mine hit me.
We covered it earlier in the video, but basically they were standing up for CoinMarketCap and saying they know it's not right, but still sharing it with their viewers. And that triggered me. So I got into it with them, and then because I kind of lit the fire, the chaos ensued.
Thus your name, Johnny Chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was strange. It's like I just didn't understand. Like I thought they were cool. Like I liked the interview they did with Richard, and I was just kind of surprised. I'm like, what the fuck turned them on their head? It's like that was really strange.
You know, one of the coolest thing about
that follow-up video with Reggie. So that definitely changed perspective.
When onboarding no coiners, the first thing I always do is get them on Nomics first and let them see what's going on, because they don't know any different. Because of course, if they are a coiner, they've got CMC on their phone, right there, or whatever stupid trading wallet platform dealy thing. I keep hearing new ones all the time. It's like, oh shit, I never even heard of that one. Well, can you buy Hex on here? I'm like, I doubt it very seriously.
The biggest problem we have with CMC is it's contaminating everything. So Blockfolio pulls their data.
Well, yeah, because
Coinbase pulls their data from CMC. That's a bigger problem because that's utilizing their millions of users, giving them false information too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they're getting their API from CoinMarketCap, but Nomics sells a lot of API too. That's their main product, of course, is their API. That's what they sell out there. So they're working on getting the good word out and getting people to start using them, and they're doing a good job at it. Actually, they're last time I talked to Clay, he was letting me know that that's what they do and that's what they market to, and people are taking heed to what it is that they're doing, because they've got the best information out there. They've been ranked as #1. So
right.
And people are aware. People are aware. Don't think they're not. Just now it's like they're resisting it, right? And that's a problem. When you have influencers that are aware and they still want to push that to their audience, that's just negligent,
Did you guys see that one of the guys that works for Binance US is stepping down? He just started working for them a few months ago, and he's quitting already.
4 months ago, and he's already stepping down. We just didn't see eye to eye in the direction we think Binance US should go. This is what he said.
Well,
after he worked on the banking committee with in the banking for Donald Trump's cabinet, didn't like the way that things were going.
And the case, as far as the case,
that's a bold.
As far as the case against
you mean you don't think it's okay for them
continue.
to just keep people's coins? So. Oh, okay. I guess that must be where you guys disagree.
Johnny, you were going to say something about the case?
Yeah. So as far as the case against CoinMarketCap for alleged fraud that is being pursued at the moment, they should be getting their paperwork next week. That is what has followed the cease and desist that they chose to ghost. We aren't bullshitting. It is happening. It's not all on me. I'm not funding it all. In fact, Seth Mendoza has taken over this aspect of it. I'm still in communication. Tim, you've been in contact with
a lot of contact.
He knows what's going on. So there are a few of us.
I know a lot more than I'm really at liberty to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say we probably shouldn't even talk about it, but
yeah,
you know,
but it's going forward.
Thank you though to you and all the other Hexicans involved. Yeah, massive thanks to everybody in the community involved in it. It's really appreciated.
So in other words, it's not dropped.
No, it's not
talking about it anymore, and this will all straighten itself out here shortly. So we're not really too concerned. And the reason why we're pursuing this again is not because it's a hex thing. It's a crypto thing.
Yeah.
When you have centralized authorities manipulating prices and you have influencers sharing that information, disinformation to their viewership, this is not responsible. So it has nothing to do with whether we like or have bad feelings about whatever. You know, there are multiple coins listed on CoinMarketCap that are not properly listed. They have the ability to bury projects before they even have a fair shot.
Yeah.
And that is not a power that should be, thrown around and abused.
Yeah, and the only reason we can't go into really details about it right now is because they have not been given the paperwork yet. So anything that we say prior to that can be misinterpreted and misapplied. So, but yeah, things are definitely going forward. Most definitely.
Well, it's important to hold places like that and situations like that accountable because, I mean, I'm sure you guys already covered it. And I think I saw Connect, you guys were talking about it on Good Morning Hex, or whatever the morning Hex show is, about, what's going on in the Senate. And, it seems like, and even Richard in his latest interview, which I thought was really good. I can't remember. It was like a 2-part thing. I can't remember the name of the show. Yeah. So even on that, he was kind of, he was being honest as he always is and forthright about how many scammy shit projects are out there that are destroying people. And, with things like, what Johnny's helped spearhead with CoinMarketCap and what's going on in those scenarios, and then how that all kind of, has the ripple effect out across all the influencers who aren't doing their due diligence. They're not doing their own research. That is what has brought the eyes of, the government onto the space more than ever. And then that's the danger of having the baby thrown out with the bathwater. Because
I don't think they're paying attention at all, Toby. I think that they're not paying attention at all. I think the only reason that they're paying attention right now is because legislation was dropped on their butts. And this was done by somebody nefariously, probably within crypto, to direct things in their direction, to move things the way they want things to move. I don't think this is some. Don't think that they're trying to do us any favors. They're not trying to come in here and regulate to make people safe. Somebody dropped this legislation on their desk and is making them put this in the bill for some reason. And that reason needs to be discovered. And that's you look for who's pulling the levers behind that curtain, and that's what you're going to do.
Who benefits? It's a very simple thing to figure out. Who benefits from this legislation? Centralized authorities.
Centralized
That's
authorities.
who benefits.
Yeah, the exchange.
If you are no longer able to be self-custodian of your own wallet and those are illegal, then what? Then you have to keep your coins on exchanges, don't you? Then you have, who do you think's behind this? It's just further more centralization in the crypto space.
To me, it just seems like basically there's a whole different type of personalities in this world, and a lot of people are really afraid to do shit with money because of government. They're just afraid, they're like, what do you do for taxes? And, and after I stop laughing, I show them, where to go and how to pay your taxes. Right. And, but the whole idea is that, when they put legislation like this, it freaks out people with money and it prevents them from getting into the market. I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist. So,
No,
well,
not
my favorite one too. You're my favorite little conspiracy theorist.
Mine too. I love Brizology.
He's texting
super
RG3
smart and
all
funny.
day long. Dude, just wait. Check out this one. I got another one for you.
My favorite part is where people are like, "Oh, but there's going to be more taxes. But there's going to be more taxes." When you're talking to them about making more money, and it's like you will have more money to pay your taxes with.
It's a Cadillac problem.
What are you freaking out about? But I don't want to pay taxes. Well,
I want to pay taxes on $1 million. I don't want to pay taxes on 50,000. I want to pay taxes on $1 million.
It seems. I mean, the whole thing to me seems a little bit like a politician's wet dream, because it's like I can see what you're saying, RG, about obviously, there's some people behind the scenes, who's pulling the levers, where's follow the money, what's the motivation, the real motivation behind this. But I guess to my point earlier, it allows the politicians to look like they're up on their stump, and fighting for the little guy, just like with the Wall Street bets stuff. Same deal.
You missed that one earlier. I got on my soapbox and yelled and screamed about that one earlier.
Because so I mean,
that's what it's done. It's give them the ability to go, oh, we're trying to help you guys. We're trying. They're trying to make themselves look good right now with this legislation. Like we're just trying to help the crypto trader because they're being ruined by this DeFi that's out there. There's these wallets and there's these people that are validating nodes and all of this stuff is so dangerous, and they're really
aren't those nodes are awful, aren't they? Because you can't centralize them.
Yeah, so so that's the problem is they want centralized. So it's these centralized organizations, projects, whatever you want to call it, that are actually the ones that are behind this. Oh, guarantee you that's who's behind it. Because these guys didn't think of this shit on their own because they could give a fuck less about all of us in crypto. If they haven't come in here in the last 10 years and cleaned this freaking place up, they ain't picking up a broom and cleaning up now. Somebody stuck that broom in their hand and said, sweep this area right here. That's what happened. So
I think it's Brad Sherman of California.
And
son of a bitch.
And here's the fun thing, RT. I like to think about this. When they talk about, you can't stop Bitcoin. Yeah, you can. It has a central point of failure. You know what that is? The miners.
Yep.
Right.
If you shut the miners down, you shut Bitcoin down. You can find the miners in centralized locations.
Well, if you shut the miners down, you'd actually make Bitcoin better.
Yeah, because move the proof of stake. That's true.
Well, it would force the old system back in play where it was just single guys in their basement, mining Bitcoin. That's what you would have. In order to keep the Bitcoin network going, it would be little guys in their basement running one or two miners all over the place. That's what you'd have. It would be good if they got rid of all the centralized mining operations and got rid of all these mining pools and freaking kicked them out of the countries that they're in.
But one well-placed EMP or a government seizure can cause much damage. And that is a centralized point of failure as the system is,
Right. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but it's just, I guess just the hypocrisy in it all, because it just seems like, surprise, surprise, politicians talking out of both sides of their mouth. They're against proof of fucking stake, but they're green. It's all about green energy, and it's all about not polluting the environment.
But see, they don't even know the difference
about
between
helping the little guy, but then they're doing everything they can behind the scenes to line their own pockets and orchestrate some of these dumps so their own friends and themselves can fucking fill their bags. I mean, I really think that this, not to be conspiratorial about it, but I mean, it seems to me like this is all lining up perfectly to help us get to that $10,000 mark that Richard's been talking about. It's all playing out. And it's like, and then, it's like the China FUD a couple of years ago. And then we're going to hit 10,000, then we're off to the races again. The right people have lined their fucking pockets with cheap crypto. They haven't helped fucking anybody. The SEC is still sitting on their hands. And, the politicians can pat themselves on the back all the way to the fucking bank.
And that's the other thing. So let's just say they do put this legislation into place. They voted in or whatever. I mean, I think that you said the key word is that this is a FUD. This is a FUD operation more than anything, because if they do put this, look, they're stretched so thin already. They can't even catch the real bad guys out there right now. So you want to stretch them even thinner over the crypto space and say, okay, now guys, go find all of these fucking people, right? Thousands and thousands of more people that they've got to go
digital prohibition
and look in the freaking
Toomey
under the
literally
covers.
came forward. Toomey literally came forward in the House and said, "This is unenforceable. We already can't enforce the laws we have on the books, and now you want us to add this too? You want us to try to track down the millions of wallets? Yeah, of wallets on the blockchain, and try to AML, KYC, and 1099 all these people as brokers. That's just literally unenforceable.
Really, literally, it wouldn't protect anybody. It would only give them the ability to go out and grab the one guy they want to get for whatever reason they want to get him. Okay, now we can go get him. We got that freaking law that we put in there, so that's the guy we want. Go get him. You know, and that's what it's going to be used for. It won't be to go out there and blanket and help everybody and all that bullshit that they're trying to spread. No, it's going to be to go after one guy when they want to go get one guy, and they'll go get him. And then they'll go get another one guy because they want to go get that one guy. Oh, God, there it is.
Oh, that looks so badass.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah. That
Look
is.
at
that.
That is better than a Lambo.
What I'm talking
Man, I don't feel bad about driving my POS van around.
You shouldn't.
When I
You
call
shouldn't.
it a res rocket.
Res rocket. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm too cheap to let it go. It still runs.
I thought my
You got to do something about those brakes, though, Briss. You pulled up next to me and you hit the brakes, and something clicked and slammed and screeched. And
it has a big brake kit on it from the LS 400. So,
and on that fire note, I'm going to call it a night.
Oh,
hell yeah!
Nice to meet you guys.
Permission to leave the ship.
See ya.
Night.
Permission to go to shore. Permission to go to shore. So
I think UFO 42 wanted to say good night.
Oh shit! UFO's back here.
Yeah. I just kicked myself out kind of unintentionally, but actually I would probably make it a day for today and just tell everyone, that little pocket full of hexanite is always a good
nice
idea.
I just wanted to
thank
See
you.
you. Take care.
Hey, Toby, I just wanted to correct you on one small thing. Kinetics show is now called Wake the F Up Sheeple with Wells Only. All right.
Wake the F up.
Right. Yeah, he was fired up.
Right.
I thought
that was awesome. Hey, Wells Only. That was awesome.
I thought I heard a stream of urine hitting the floor in Japan from Papa Boner. I thought he made him piss his pants at one point.
Well, I think you guys read that wrong, because I was feeling the same way about the situation as Papa Boner was feeling, because
that's where I was at.
It's not about eating shit and barking at the moon all the time. And I love Wales, and I love the fire that's in his belly, because I had that same fire when I was a younger man. But there comes a point where you want war. You want to fight the system. You want the system to change based on your energy and power that you want everybody to gather with you. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in the real world. Right. And I know that we all want it to. We would all like to see anarchy or some type of an uprising or some type of a rebellion against what's out there. And believe me, what's out there is better than what's been out there for many eons out there. There were some fucked up governments out there, guys, in history. And if you read your history, these motherfuckers were skinning motherfuckers alive for not paying their taxes, for not doing the right things, for so we got a little bit. Yeah, so as messed up as we think our shit is, it's been worse in history, and people did less to try and fix it.
I prefer to live under a Genghis Khan government.
Yeah, I know you do. But I say that not to say puss out and not do anything, because we need all of your voices, and we do need you to fight. But we need you to choose your battles, and some people are going to be the ones that go and bang their heads up against the wall and eat shit and bark at the moon and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to fire everybody up. Not everybody has that same fire, but we have to pay attention. We have to read. We have to educate ourselves. Like I'm trying to tell everybody. So everybody's going, oh, the government's doing this. Well, guys, it's really not your government that's doing this. It's the people that are behind the scenes that are doing this, that put that legislation on your government's lap and uses them as their lapdogs. That government guy is just taking a paycheck and taking that legislation and pushing it through and making himself look like a hero so he can get that cushy job and that cushy paycheck. And then when he's done legislating for your asses, he can go work on K Street and make the big bucks, because that's where the big bucks is. Those government officials, they move from the Senate, the Congress, and they go into the lobby houses and they make more money over there after they're done, you know, stealing the money and sitting on their asses and getting all the bennies of being a government employee working for us, supposedly, right?
Yep.
So you've got to look at the right places. You've got to read. You've got to read people that you can trust. Look at their background. Look at their history. What kind of journalists are they? You know, you can't just do Google searches and call it good, man. I mean, go out there and find out who's writing the good stuff, who's doing the good investigative journalism, you know, and how many people are pointing in that direction versus one crazy guy yelling on a stream, you know. I'm not going to ever tell you guys what to do. I'm going to say, go do your damn research, do your homework and learn, and then go out and figure out how to fight those people. Because until you get, and I'm talking about the U.S. people here, until you get the money out of your politics, you are not going to change a fucking thing. My days are over, guys. I'm done. I'm not going to fucking fight your battles for you no more. I'm going to go put my toes in the sand. I'm done. You guys, it's up to you guys to fix this shit. You guys have to get money out of politics so that you can have some type of legislative government, because you need legislative government, because anarchy ain't going to fucking work. Sorry. Your rebellion, your anarchist rebellion government isn't going to work. The best thing that you have going for you is this country right here. So go fix it. Get the money out of this shit so that you guys can have some representative government out there.
Amen.
Yeah, there's the correlation between what the people want and the laws that get passed, and it's like flatlined. You know, it's like it doesn't matter how much percentage of people want or how much you know that you don't want it. It gets passed because they pass it. What was her name? Jennifer Lawrence did a thing where she was talking about politics, and she was talking about the laws being passed versus, you know, what the people want in percentage. It doesn't matter. It's just so screwed up. That's how as the system is now.
Right. Well, I mean, and RG nailed it. It's the money. You know, I mean, as long as the money speaks louder than the votes, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, how many dollars is your vote worth? You know, and it's like not much. It's like your vote is fucking pennies.
Not let Gen X off.
Hey, easy, Gen X. Hey, we did our share.
So here's what I want to say.
I need someone to blame.
No. My generation worked harder than just about any other generation out there and got fuck all for it. We've got the worst pension plans, the worst 401ks, the worst investment tools ever for working our 25 or 30 years that we just worked. Yep. Worse than our parents, worse than our grandparents, better than all of you fucking guys have. That's for goddamn sure. But you guys have time to fix it now. See, we're the ones that ended up with nothing. They had a little bit.
RG, you guys had MTV. We don't even have MTV anymore. All right. So, okay.
It's got MTV. Damn it, there was music on MTV.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Take that.
Music television. That's what it used to be.
You guys got all the reality shows. No wonder your life perspective is all screwed up.
Yeah. I mean, and I, you know, not to get all philosophical here, but I think that all of that kind of plays together. And I don't know, I think I've made this comment before, but in the movie Malcolm X, there's a scene where he gets shot, right? Oh, and in the crowd, there's a distraction. And if you remember what the distraction was, the distraction was one guy saying to another guy, "Get your hand out of my pocket." And then all of a sudden everybody's like, "What?" And then bam, 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 and they fucking light him up, right? And the thing is it's distraction. It's all distraction. You got to keep everybody separated. You got to keep them fighting about the fucking virus. You got to keep them fighting about race. You got to keep them fighting about class warfare. You got to keep them fighting about any difference of opinion you can name. Go right down the fucking list. That's one of the things I love about the Hexican community is because it's all walks of life. It's like we've got fucking, you know, every race you can think of. it's women, men, trans, you name it.
We all call ourselves Hexicans, regardless.
And we're all right. And it's like, and we're in for not to get all culty, John. Don't get excited over there. But it's like it's it's really a better representation of what real life is, because when you get out there and you talk to people face to face, you're not fucking fighting about that shit. No, I've got very different views from some of the Hexicans on some core topics that just eat up the media constantly. Met them face to face, friendly as fucking can be. We got more in common than we got that divide us.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and the media, which is controlled by those same power brokers and money men that are controlling the politicians, are the ones that are keeping everybody bickering amongst themselves so they can't unify and make any real change. And then guys like me and RG and maybe even Papa and Kinetics, I think you're younger than we are. So it's like, when I was in my 20s and 30s, it's like I wanted to join Earth First. I wanted to join Sea Shepherd. It's like I wanted to fucking go out there and ram the whalers and like do some crazy, those are like very, very radical environmental groups.
And now these things are looked at down upon like, oh, you're some kind of a snowflake. But back then, those people were like, hey, those were the badasses volunteering to go do shit, get some shit done.
Yeah, getting fucking harpoon getting whalers to throw fucking harpoons at you as you're charging their ships and stuff because they're killing whales illegally in the Sea of Japan. It's like, that kind of shit. But if you look down the line at all those revolutions, what's the age range? Those men that are all fucking fired up and they're in their 20s and their 30s and they're yelling and they're loud, and then they fall off one by one because they eventually just get numbed down and dumbed down by all the stuff, right? That just gets dumped on them year over year. And you only see a few like RG or, me to a much lesser degree that are still fired up at this age. Most guys have already fucking checked out. They don't give a shit anymore. I mean, there's stuff that needs to get done.
What's that? What's that old saying?
What's that?
What's that old saying about a young conservative has no heart and a old liberal has no brain?
It was a Winston Churchill quote. It's a Winston Churchill quote. If you're in your 20s and are not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're in your 40s and not a conservative, you have no brain.
No brain. Yep.
You ever notice all labels are binary? You ever notice how all labels are binary?
Yeah.
You're either left, you're either right. You ever notice how everything's binary? You're a Christian or you're an atheist. Everything is binary.
Yep, and it's not that way because I'm not that way.
There's definitely gray in everything.
That is by design, because if you can divide a person, that's what you do is you give them two choices, and that's how you continue to create division. By limiting people's options to two choices. And that's done in every aspect of our lives because humans' brains function on binary systems. And they go, okay, well, I can't agree with that. And then that's how they divide us.
Yeah.
And then they try and put politics in it.
Or you're not.
So what you have to be able to do is try not to be a binary thinker. Try to accept, try not to put labels on things. Try not to, restrict things to two options. Understand everything. Everything under the sun is an area of gray. There is no right or wrong. It's all areas of gray. We may feel this is right, or we may feel this is wrong. That's our beliefs. But we have to understand that everything is an area of gray.
No, it's
answers for everything.
Identity politics. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like people are identifying with these feelings and they're mistaking that for who they are. And no, it's like, this is just a belief I hold. This isn't fucking who I am. There's more to me than this particular belief about this particular thing, and I mean, and the problem is mainstream media is so controlled by those same bags of money. And that is the drumbeat that's out there over everyone. So it's like, as soon as we can kind of finally get news to be back to what it was, it's like, RG, you probably remember Walter Cronkite. I remember Walter Cronkite. He delivered the fucking news. You didn't hear about Walter Cronkite's opinions on things. He kept things middle ground so people could make their own fucking choices and gave them the facts of the story.
Then they consolidated all the media under, a couple agencies, and now it's all controlled too.
Have an open mind, but don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out.
Right. Yeah. Please. And it's the whatchamacallit, the music industry. Same way, man. It's like there used to be DJs. There used to be DJs where you could find fucking great bands that you never heard of before because that DJ liked that band and he would play that shit. Now it's fucking the same radio station anywhere you go in any major market in the country. It's fucking horse shit. It's all
When I went to when I worked for K-Rock, it was a small local radio station that was doing amazing shit in LA. I mean, it was like the funnest place in the world. They got in trouble for too much cocaine being there and trading it for music play and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was a great place to freaking be, right? And all of a sudden, this broadcasting company called Infinity Broadcasting bought them. And when Infinity bought them, there was all of us like degenerates there, like serious degenerates. And we were all radio people and we were having a good time. And this literally a guy in a suit came in. And this guy in a suit ended up working for MTV back in those days. And they sold, most of K-Rock over to MTV. And even Louis Largent, our music director, went over to MTV and worked for them. And even Kennedy, my friend, went to work for MTV for a time. But it just turned into this corporate mess and we couldn't function in it anymore. It was like, it was such a weird thing. And then the message started changing. The music started changing. Like, it wasn't like Lewis would literally go into, I know I don't want to dox him anyway. The way music was picked back then, there was a lot of different ways music was played on the radio. It was, it was sales basically is what it was. And then all of a sudden, the music director left and it wasn't about that anymore. The corporation was telling you what you were going to play, how you were going to play it, what cards are played at what time. And then all of a sudden, like right now, it's all canned. It's just canned music all the time. They play what they want to play at the times they want to play it. There's no more, hey, happy hour with Rodney on the Rock. I'm just going to play this fucking thing that somebody slid under the door and put it on. I mean, back then Sublime was literally putting tapes under our door. Like, guys, play our shit, play our shit, play our shit. And, and they're like, oh, not those guys again. Like Sublime's girlfriends and everything, they come and every day they were putting tapes under the door, and they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't. And it was like, gosh, would somebody just freaking play these guys, And, but that's the kind of shit was going on. And then this corporate structure came in and it's ruined things for everybody. Right. I mean, it's centralization of all of the media itself. Is the dangerous thing, centralization of a company is not, but centralization of media and information is not a good thing.
When they control all that you see and hear and they pump it into your brain 24/7, you eventually start believing what you hear. And that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's easy.
Stop watching the news.
I got rid of my cable about 7 years ago.
Yep.
Right.
I don't watch the news. None of it. Don't follow any of it.
I don't access it on the internet. It's like I don't have time for that garbage.
I don't even have time to watch TV anymore. I mean, I don't even watch TV. I sit down with a movie with my kid every once in a while, or my grandfather. I go watch the
Dodgers cocaine. Don't we all? We all?
Man, I'm telling you, man. Wait. Moment of silence for cocaine. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
The good old days when cocaine wouldn't kill you. You could do it for days.
Man, those are the good old days, man.
Not to glorify it, kids.
Not to glorify it at all. Not at all.
It was a different time. And things wasn't stepped on with shit that will kill you. There was an innocence to those crazy days.
Hell
don't look at me. I've been accused.
What was that?
But
that
I think people are more disturbed by the fact that I'm like this naturally.
We wouldn't have it any other way, Johnny.
Nothing better than the drugs your own brain make, right, Johnny?
Right. I mean, I might be affected somewhat by lab fumes. That's potential.
It could be.
With foreign substances, I like to be in control of all my faculties.
The baby laxatives, their shit.
That was a wives' tale, by the way. That there was baby laxatives in your shit. It was whatever they were cutting it with. That people were saying it was baby laxatives because when you did your first rail, it was like you wanted to take a shit or something.
Right, immediately.
That wasn't why. That wasn't baby laxatives. It was other shit that they were cutting it with.
Yeah,
I don't think that's slowed down the usage.
See, pure cocaine did not do that to your digestive system. That's how you can tell if it was cut or not.
Yeah. All right. Let's not talk about freaking cocaine anymore. It's going a whole new direction now.
The chat's leading us astray.
That by experience.
Lost my house, lost my car, lost my job. Cocaine.
The chat has led us astray. We're easily swayed.
Oh man.
Pretty bad incoming. See what happens.
All right, guys, it's been 3 hours. It's Friday night hangout. We're gonna have to call it a night. I know Kinetics is getting tired. He's feeling really puny tonight, and
been
working hard.
Been working hard all week while I've been resting on my laurels, not doing a damn thing, not taking his calls, just chilling. Social media, like next week, I think I'm going to be totally off Twitter and everything next week. I'm just going to take another week off because I can.
Nice.
Anyway,
I'll be back after Pulse launches and we'll talk about it then. Till then, I'm just going to chill. I think I'm going to delete the Facebook. I'm going to delete that stuff off my phone for now. I'll load it back up later.
It's guys, if it just stand by, watch what's going on, because Pulse is going to get really, really exciting, really, really fast. And I think the whole crypto space is ready for a big shakeup right now. I think we are wound up for an amazing storm that is about to happen. And we, Hexicans, are going to be right in the middle of that storm. We are going to be in
brewing
the freaking middle of it. And
coming whether they're ready or not.
The eye of the storm, where it's calm, where you stake and chill.
That's exactly where we're at.
Going to hell around you.
We've all staked and sacked, and we're staked and sacked and chilling right now. And that's where everybody should be, because I'm telling you, if you did get yourself into Pulse, if you did get your share of the sacrifice done, then I'm telling you, everybody's going to be doing just fine. You did well. You got in really, 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 really early at whatever level you could have got in, and you're going to be very pleased with your decision. I am almost assuredly sure that you will be pleased with your decision to get into the Pulse storm that's about to happen. So, all right, everybody, we will see you on Monday. All kinds of streams going on from now until then. Check it out. Go to Discourse Syndicate Network.com and click on that, and you can see all the schedules and everybody's streams and where they're at. And we appreciate you all hanging out with us. So we'll catch you on Monday with DS.
Yes.
All right, guys. Listen.